Welcome back to Kitchen Bitches.
On the last episode of Kitchen Bitches.
I had a real boner for the Confederacy when I was like a little kid.
They all sound the fucking same.
Mm-hmm.
Revenge of the Last Jedi, Sith, Return.
Empire Strike,
Yeah.
Force Awakens.
Returning Rise of Skywalker. Why are you just shitting on Africa today, man?
Africa fucking sucks. With Palpatine has possessed her. She's like, I'm gonna shave my head so I too can be old and Palpatine. The time has come, and so have I. Ladies and gentlemen, Kitchen Bitches, episode 5. With me this week, my usual co-host, Soul, and
Hey.
Scheboii.
You beat?
Coming right at you.
Gentlemen, how are we this week?
Are we just asking
like
how
the
our
little
week has
rhyme.
been? Well,
I
I think
that.
we had a very interesting week because we had a tropical storm on the East Coast, and we were kind of in the middle of it a little bit.
Yeah.
We didn't really get hit, but like we did have a little bit of
Extra work.
extra work. Yeah.
Extra work.
Which is probably my theme of the week, is just a lot of, like, I had, like, 1 or 2 days off in, like, the past 2 weeks, so just looking forward to the big paychecks.
Absolutely. I think that's why any of us do this. I know we've all got things that we're planning in the near to not so distant future that we are going to need kind of all the resources we can consume.
Yeah,
And,
are you going to Disney?
I'm going on a little
Coming
bit of a
up?
trip here soon.
Your
Yes.
favorite rocket
So yes, indeed. So I'm trying to acquire all of the monetary resources I can
So you
before-
can blow it all off.
so
to
I
the
can buy
biggest
myself a
corporation in the world.
lightsaber and some Jedi robes and
So they can
feel
buy
good about my
another
life
studio.
choices. Yeah, so
Maybe
that-
they'll just buy EA and just
So yeah, now they'll buy.
change it around.
Well, they'll buy. I think they're gonna buy DC next. So
How, like,
and then they'll own
Well,
both
then-
Marvel and DC.
Well, they have to buy all of Warner Bros. At that point.
Well, they might as well, and then they
Yeah.
don't Harry Potter, and that good stuff. I'd be okay with that.
Oh, God.
at what point does that become
Yeah,
a
when did
monopoly?
the monopoly?
Yeah,
Actual monopoly.
Well, they'll find some loophole, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, there's 2 companies out there, so competition.
Yeah.
Anyways. Oh, by special request from other people, to get this out of the way. Cats.
Meow.
Cats.
Meow.
You
Meow.
pandering son of a bitch.
There you go. That's
I
all you get,
know.
though.
Well,
That's
she's
all you
our
get.
only listener.
She's our only.
So, hello, Nucci. Again.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Sure, you're the host. You're supposed
I
to
am.
be.
I
Yeah,
am.
so we have to-
Did you have-
my duties were usurped within the first 30 seconds of my snappy intro there.
It was a good intro,
It
though.
was a good intro, and then I just derailed
It was
everything.
pretty
I
good.
didn't,
I
I didn't think it was
I
gonna
didn't plan
derail
past
the
first
show
30
that.
seconds.
I didn't think it was gonna derail that show that much, but so yeah, as Soul had mentioned, we had a very interesting week last week with a bit of a Hurricane Dorian passing through our parts to a not so direct hit. We kind of
whiff.
made a little extra money, a little extra work, which is always welcome, I think.
Exactly.
But it's not.
It comes with its own set of problems, though.
There you go. That's the way to explain it. That was not coming out of my mouth. It is a very unique situation that all 3 of us were in,
I think I had the worst experience.
and I think that Soul did have the worst experience.
What made yours the worst experience? I had the best experience in my
Well,
opinion.
yeah. I'd say we'll get to
Well,
his experience here.
Yeah, in fairness, there was this was much better than our last hurricane, but I don't like to be like a complainer, but like it was just you work 10 days straight, and then right at the tip of that we had should we just go into an explanation of what
I
do
think we should.
Okay, just to paint the picture.
Just because I don't think a lot of in our business, not just specifically the food industry, but with where we work at a hospital, they have a certain set of procedures when a natural disaster is present that require us to be there essentially 24/7.
Yes.
And then that is where that certain
You
set of
cannot
problem-
leave.
You
Yes.
cannot leave.
You
If
cannot
do
leave.
You are done for.
They give you a little air mattress and be like, hey, find a place.
Pretty much. It's a
Find a
free-for-all that everyone just kind of is miserable. And a lot of people are after the fact, like to romanticize it and say, oh, it wasn't really that bad. And in fact, it's not. But when you're there, it's like maybe the worst thing ever. Not that first day, but that second day. When you get
That second.
when you walk into wherever it is you work that second day and you see everyone walking around with the bags under their eyes and everyone looks like a zombie and they want to shoot themselves in the head.
Yeah, everyone's just kind of vulnerable.
I think I was the only one that got good sleep, apparently.
Groggy and
I got good sleep. Like, I was sleeping as much as possible because the more you
Yep.
sleep, the faster it goes by.
yeah.
But it was just that one night where I did not get any sleep because I was up till 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Because they're obligated to give free food, obviously.
Mhm.
And we, as a kitchen people, get fucked. We don't work in like the production area where most of that shit happens, but one of us, being me, for some reason volunteered to help out with like the late shift menu, which
Wow.
was a volunteered slash
I
I
was
was
going
kind
to
of
say kind of
Voluntold.
forced by
voluntold.
Yeah,
That is a great.
voluntold.
Yes.
I was right there when it happened.
You were in the
So-
crossfire and you just kind of backed out of the way?
He walked right past
Well,
me and
he
straight
did-
to
he
soul.
did.
So
Like, I love the dude I'm talking about. This is no disrespect, but he kind of like walked around our little area, and then he kind of did like this 360 as if he just saw me there.
Like damn Jaws, just
Yeah.
Exactly.
and,
And then he got the blood eyes, and he found me. He was like, "Hey, you wanna?" And anytime
First-
a manager starts the
Yeah.
sentence with the words, "You wanna" or "Do you mind?"
how you
it's-
feeling right now, bud?
I need a favor.
What are you doing tonight, guy? I think the thing that got me that was the funniest about it was when he walked up to you and said, "Do you like to stay up late, or do you stay up
Oh, yeah,
late?
no,
Do
he
you find
was like-
yourself staying up late?"
He's like, "How
These
late have you
trying
been staying
times?"
up?" And then I was like, I didn't put it together. I was like, I've been staying up pretty late. And he was like,
Oh.
well, we need someone for the late menu meals. Do you want to do that? It'll be really easy because of reasons X, Y, Z, and then reasons A, B, and C. And then my mind was just kind of at this point already like on like a piano recital of sadness. And when I got there, it was not so easy. It was not so happy-go-lucky.
You forgot about reason F about why not to do that.
Reason F, exactly.
Yep. Well, as you had told me when I came to visit you that night, that they had said, "Oh, everything will be fine. Everything will be set up. This person has already set your burgers up for you. This person has done the hot dogs and the veggie burger. It'll be fine. All you have to do is put it in the steamer and let it be, and you'll be A-okay, friend."
Yeah. To put into
None of that happened,
To
though.
put into perspective, there was about like how many hundreds of people? Like I want to say
Yeah.
There's a range.
I'd say
Last
400,
hurricane?
500. Like this was the late meal, so it's less than dinner.
So
but,
in
like,
total, I think they said in the entire hospital, just I think employees, 2,500 is what they said.
yeah,
And we do 4 meal periods a day: breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then a late night meal for the third shift folks.
yeah,
And third shift, I'd say, not only you get those the third shift people for the late night
You
meal,
get
but
everyone
you
else
get
that's off.
everyone else that's off. That's like, I'm feeling a bit peckish. Everything we've had, because really, we don't get a lot of food
Mhm.
for
Yeah,
those
the free
free
food
meals.
is kind of like portioned.
It's pretty slim
exact.
pickings.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I know,
It's not like standing in line waiting for toilet paper, slim pickings, but
it's
I mean,
it's not like
it's free.
It's not like a eat to your heart's content
yeah.
kind of.
It's not a buffet.
Yeah,
which is what they tried to do with the last hurricane, and we ran
and
out
that
of
went
food.
horribly.
Yeah.
Well, we were also in there for a
Considerably
much longer
3
amount
times
of time.
longer.
Yeah, 3 times longer.
Fuck
so.
Florence.
Shout out to first.
Shout out to anyone named Florence can eat our.
If you're named Florence, I wasn't talking shit about you. I was talking shit about the store.
Nah, well,
But just to put a little period on the story, yeah, there was, I want to say somewhere between 500 to 700 people. It was junk food. It was a lot of hamburgers, fries, hot dogs, and
Sounds easy.
it sounds easy. And a bunch of fries. But he was like, show up at like 10 man, and you'll be good to go. He's like, all you gotta do is put it in the thing and you should be good. And like right away, I was like, no, it's not gonna work. I was like, there was a stupid amount of fries I would have to make and all this stuff. But the real thing was the hamburgers, which he was like, yeah, just throw in the oven. Like, cause when he gave it to me, it was like he lightly cooked it. He had another guy in our kitchen kind of like get it ready. So all I have to do is heat it up, but it was just like a mushy, like it was like, imagine a hamburger that's been like refrigerated for like a week and like they're all stacked against each other. And I was just making it on the flat top because that's how you make hamburgers. He's like, nah, man, it's going to take too long. Throw that shit in the oven. And I was like, should I like lay it out on trays and stuff? He's like, nah, you're not supposed to make any dishes. We don't got any dishwashers right now. And I was like, okay. And sure enough, I just make fries for like half an hour and then I come back and I was like, oh, it's like 15 minutes until these 700 people walk in and I have no hamburgers. And the next...
Almost like something told you.
So I'm not going to say what happened after that. Just know like the next hour after that was probably the worst hour I've ever worked there.
Yeah.
And they were like piranhas. I could have like thrown bloody chunks of hamburger meat at them and they would have been like, yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, I walked down there about midnight, about an hour after it started, just to see how he was doing. And he says to me, this has been the worst 30 minutes I have ever worked in this place in my entire life.
Yeah.
Good thing I got the hot dog.
Yeah, no, those were some of the worst food I ever made there.
And then me and a stoplight were walking around, like, just watching the chaos happen. And
Stoplight.
El stoplight.
But the way it went in my head was I'd have like an extra dude. I should have showed up earlier.
Yeah.
And like...
Didn't he say he was going to be around to help you?
No, he was like, I'll be around to help, no big deal. And I didn't know if he was going to get another person besides him, but he was there maybe less than 2 minutes.
He's physically in the hospital. He's around.
He meant like, I guess he meant like, I'll be there to show you what to do, but I could have put that together. Like, I just needed like an extra set of hands, my dude.
And then the guy sitting directly to my right here was like, oh, I'm just going to stay up. And then I walked upstairs with El Stople, and he's asleep on the bed. And was like, and she just take this trash can that's sitting aptly to my left and just like dump it on him and run away.
It was, you found all the sleep you could, okay?
You're right.
Because I worked the breakfast shift, but I had, like, the breakfast shift was a lot easier, in my opinion, than what lunch and dinner would have been.
Yeah.
So when I got off my breakfast shift, I immediately just went into bed. And then I was like, oh, I'll just stay up whenever I naturally wake up.
No.
And then around 11 and 12, I'm like, I'm going to take another nap.
Yeah.
And go back to bed.
He's right that you catch all the sleep you can, because if I had any more opportunities to like nap, I definitely would have. Because I generally, as a rule, don't sleep well. I'm a very light sleeper, and attempting to sleep on the floor is not ideal.
Yeah. I was just about to say ideal. But our shifts are about the same in quality, or difficulty, I should say. We just had a worse crew.
Yeah, we were handicapped just
You
by
had, like, the best
people.
players on the whole team, and then we were stuck with, like, the bench warmers.
Yeah, it was a pretty good,
Yeah, the second-class group of...
Oh, man.
I'm sure there were some challenges with breakfast, but...
No.
Oh,
No, literally
It's just
not.
like, no.
I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
compared to,
Part of-
I'm sure what we told you about what happened with our few attempts at our 4 attempts at lunch and dinner.
Yeah. All in all, it wasn't, like, super bad. It was just that one, like, day where we had that one big slip-up.
I'll say
Yeah.
that going to like a non-select menu is a lot worse than people think it is.
Really?
Because what non-select is for the audience is like, here's your daily menu of like, here's our special of what you can have.
Mhm.
And then you also have the whole other menu that you can order from if you don't want that special. Well, if you go to non-select, it means that you're only going to get the special.
You don't get a choice.
You don't get a choice. But they then decide, hey, we'll just send a non-select special meal to every room, regardless of if there's a patient in there. So we're going to have double the amount of tickets just sending them out. Like,
Yeah.
Like, why are we wasted so much food doing that kind of menu?
Yeah.
But it's saving other food for other places. But honestly,
Well,
it just
that's
feels
why-
like when that kind of thing happens, the patients are kind of
The thing
not cared about.
Yeah, they're not, which is kind of sad. But the thing about that is we ran out of certain items that, like, when the storm was over, we didn't have that food.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Namely, like hash browns and stuff. We didn't have like the next day.
Well, that happened to us last night. We went to old B-Dubs last night, and they're like, sorry.
We're out of so much stuff.
We're
It's
out
better.
of everything.
Remember, I said I was there earlier that day. Yeah, my girl was like, "Can I get this drink?" Yeah, we didn't. They didn't have cheese curds. They didn't have. They didn't have like. She went down a list. She's like, "Could I get this drink?" They're like, "We're out." This drink, we're out. And she's like, "How about this?" They're like, "We do have that." I was like,
Some good old fashioned water.
and it's like the first day of football season. So
Yeah,
I know that
times.
they were getting hit hard.
All I wanted were my Asian zing. Can't have Asian zing.
Rejected. How are you out of a sauce?
We should
Yeah.
do
Oh, well.
a week where we just do Buffalo Wild Wings review sauces, just to review
Oh
each
my
sauce.
god. We'd have to just order
A
all of them,
stupid
'cause
amount.
I haven't ordered like most of them.
Yeah, I
haven't gone above Asian Zing, I think.
I was gonna say I usually stick with Asian zing and.
Just one order of Blazin'.
Oh god.
Oh god, it'll be like an episode of Hot Ones. We'll just get the hottest wings and just die.
So shitty.
It's a shame you guys won't get on camera. That would have been. I would pay to watch you guys just
Crying.
Yeah.
Just give me.
I handle hot food pretty well. It's
You probably
just
handle
it's
it better
the
than
it's
me,
the next
honestly.
day that I don't handle the hot food well.
Oh.
I have stomach problems and it just ruins me. The next day it's like murder.
More reason we should do it.
Oh god, no. Please spare me. But so does I don't have any topic this. I thought I could think of something. I had one, but I'm going to save it till we get to October cuz it's more of a Halloween thing, and I think that should probably wait until then unless we want to blow our load on Halloween now cuz we might have more to talk about.
Oh,
but
I loved saying that line to about when I was like, "Oh, I don't celebrate Halloween."
Oh, right. Yeah, that was good.
There's a coworker that walked around.
Yeah, I didn't hear the
Asking-
story, so you break it down for me.
Okay, well, asking about Halloween, like, oh, maybe I should get Halloween off because I can take my kids out, which was what I assumed she was gonna do. But then she started talking about like how she's gonna be like a something, and
Yeah.
I don't want to be so specific about what she's
Yeah,
gonna be. But
she it was just for like a vulgar joke, so she could run around downtown and do the bar crawl and
yeah,
make vulgar
she talked
jokes.
to Swoogie more, and then she like was like, "Oh, what are you gonna be, Swoogie?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't know. I'll probably do this or this." I wasn't really paying attention. I was just trying to get out of there. And then she turns to me and she's like, "What are you gonna be for Halloween, Scheboii?" And I can't do that in the third person. Say my own name. And I'm like, "Oh, I don't celebrate Halloween. It's a pagan holiday." She's like, "Oh, and?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's
And
a
nothing.
worshiping of the damned. I can't do that being a Christian." I was just doing this out of spite. to
I
her.
was about to say that. I feel like you don't actually.
And she's, I didn't actually care. I was probably going to just be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'll be in a morph suit."
I know the person you're talking about without you even saying. I'm just imagining just
She's
an explosion at the back of her
What?
mind, just like one section of her brain just. Psh.
Well, I was kind of like watching up with the corner of my eye all this interaction going on as I was standing at the other end of the line doing my cleaning and whatnot. And like, she didn't really react the way that I thought she would. She kind of was
Yeah.
more just like, "Oh, alright, whatever. I guess whatever you want to do."
My favorite game to play with y'all at work is like listening to you guys be racist and sexist as shit, like under your breath, and I gotta react to it, but also like not say something back that will like attract the nearby
Right.
people.
See what I was saying to him the other day.
He's getting a lot more louder with saying the N word
Whoa.
around. He
Eh.
says it under his breath, but then he's just like, "What up?" And
I said, "What up, Napalm?" And then he's like, No.
Because like
You're right. I definitely
person
should
of
probably
color
be more
is only
careful. And
right
when I say it,
next to
I'm
you.
not doing it with the hard R. I'm doing it with the A out of a joke. I did that actually to one of our. I was talking about you with a certain worker who works on our line who is of a different ethnicity, and I said to him about that one day when we were stuck in the hospital, and I walked in like 5 minutes later than my shift, and you're like, "You're late." And I looked at you and I was like, "No, I'm not. I'm here anyway, aren't I? I don't think late is objective at this point." And I was telling him that story, and I like kind of
I
like
was just joking.
wrung a paper towel in my hands, and I was like, "Nigga, I'm stuck here." I said to him, and he just kind of laughed, like he didn't really react.
I can imagine it.
Demonetized now.
Yeah.
We were demonetized long ago.
Yeah.
Before we were even monetized.
But
we were demonetized.
what I was saying, my favorite game to play with him now is I'll like kind of be making a series of points. And I'll kind of lead him on, and then I'll hit him with that like thing at the end that's like way over the top, and he'll go, whoa, hold on a second. He'll be like, all right, I agree, and then it's that last sucker punch that he's like, oh God, no.
This slippery slope. How did this happen?
Scheboii, you have a very like esoteric like type of comedy, and like a lot of the times I can't tell if you're being serious, and like other times like you'll be like completely bullshitting 100%. Other times you're like in the middle, and it's like half the time I was like whatever. I'm just like I don't know. And then a lot of your like choices of words will be like very specific to like internet culture, like that I'm not familiar with, and I'll be like, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about right now.
I can't even.
And then he'll say like, our place of work is not like the best place to have like these kind of jokes because there's so many.
It's a very diverse group of people.
No, I don't mean like the culture. I just mean like there's literally so many grills and ovens and other things. There's water running. Yeah, the volume. So like you'll say it under your breath because for obvious reasons, and then like I'll be like, okay, he's saying something I don't understand at a volume I can't hear, and I'm just like in my mind, and I'm also trying to work, so I'm like, what the like I'm putting a jigsaw piece together in my brain, and then like sometimes I'll get it, I'll turn around like with this triumphant smile, and I'll be like, boom. It's a great feeling.
And I know I kind of mumble sometimes, like I've always been bad about like mumbling and not looking where I'm talking. I know I'm bad about that. I've tried to change that behavior, but if I'm tired, which I usually am, I just am not in that habit of like, I just like whatever. If he hears me, he hears me. If he doesn't hear me, then it doesn't matter.
Like, there's certain like phrases you'll say, like you'll just be like, "Oh, fucking hate women," like all of them, and he's saying it to get a reaction from me, like as a joke, but I know he's dead serious, depending on what he's saying it or why he's saying it.
And then the funny thing is, like, I'll say that to my girlfriend, and she'll turn around and be like, "I hate men too." It's like we're perfect for each other.
No, you're toxic for everyone.
Apparently. Oh well.
No.
But you need each other, so it's like a it's like a parasite symbiote like type thing.
It's a weird dynamic we have. And then I'll turn to El Stople and be like, you just want to go live on that island that's like just nothing but men. It's like a monastery island off the Greek or like in the Mediterranean. That's all like these Greek Orthodox monks that have like, and there's one that like lived and died there that like never saw a woman his entire life.
Do you know what the show The Handmaid's Tale is? Okay,
Yes,
I was about to say that's like your perfect.
No, well that's.
I don't
like,
know what the show's about.
Well, again,
fully.
she's like, this is terrible. I don't know what would happen. But then I'm like, is it though?
Apparently, our old Jersey coworker watches that.
Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah, he watches that a lot, and he's like, "Man, have you seen it yet?" I'm like, "No, I just for the bits and pieces I've pulled from it, I don't feel like
probably
really
his
watching
wife.
it." And he's like, "Man, that show's crazy. It gets crazy in there."
It's crazy how shows have like such political edges to them now because like that controversy aspect will like raise it.
Oh yeah,
like, there's 13 Reasons Why, which is like children having sex and drugs, and then there's like that show I haven't watched it called Dear White People, which is just the title. It was like triggering. Orange is the New Black has like lesbian sex all over it, like all these like Netflix shows.
Well, specifically with what I've heard about The Handmaid's Tale, I feel like if it came out like literally like 5 years ago, like if it would have like become a show 5 years ago, it wouldn't have been as like.
Could it have been a show
edgy.
like 10 years ago even though?
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff you couldn't put on TV.
But like, I feel like when something comes out that has a political edge, you're kind of like in your base camp saying like, oh, you're forcing it to have it. Like, it's like you're trying to get a ruse from us.
It's like, no, the zeitgeist.
Like,
I definitely feel like there's a quota, like, maybe just not for like those type of shows, but even like The Walking Dead, there's definitely like a gore quota and a zombie killing quota.
Yeah.
Which is ironic because
So there
like
might also be like a political quota. Or
yeah,
like
these shows
Yeah.
that like are fighting to be on TV are also like specifically making a quota that will get them off of TV at the same time.
Well, I think what he's saying about this, like, having this very, like, or I guess it was you that was having the political edge to it. Because we're in, like, very politically polarizing times now, that people kind of want that they want to be shocked by this, like, extremism one way or the other. And that, I'm sure there are some people that fantasize about, like, oh, if this happened, we, some kind of armed revolt or, whatever. But I think that, and, what I say in some of the circles that I've run in, they just do it just because it's kind of the popular thing to do. Whether that's true or not, I mean, they do it because, a lot of people are very politically charged now, just in the climate we're in. It's very polarized, as I said, so people want
And there's a
to
huge
kind of
cancel culture at the same time.
propel that polarization and be like, oh, these people think the exact same way that I do, or like, oh, wouldn't it be terrible if this happened? Like, you're seeing that, with shows like Man in the High Castle, where that's, I don't know if you know anything about that, but that's where alternate history, where the Nazis won the Second World War and basically
Wolfenstein.
divided the United States up, like at the Rockies, where the Japanese had taken everything west of the Rockies and the Nazis had taken everything east of the Rockies, and it's like kind of set in this
Interesting.
era. It's, I'm a big fan of I've never watched Man in the High Castle, but just alternate history is very interesting to me, being a history nerd. So, but there are other shows that, like, I haven't seen much of The Good Place. Like, we watched a little bit of that last night.
I've seen about all of that.
So we watched.
It's not really controversial, I would say.
Is it? I was gonna say, I don't know. We just started watching it last night, and I just kind of was like, not really understanding what was going on. But
You would probably like that show. It actually like kind of goes into philosophy a lot.
yeah, I mean, from what I saw, like, it was kind of.
I mean, it's
but-
very much kind of like a sitcom-y look at it. Like,
Yeah.
Is it like a very like skimming the top of what philosophy is?
I was literally about to say it's not so much like
what Rick and Morty is, in a way.
in a way, it's not so much like going. It's not like
But
creating these philosophical like arguments and like seeing the results of them. It's more just people talking about it, and like the characters' plot kind of revolves around it, like in a type of way. Like
kind of moral ethics and stuff like that, because I know that one, the black guy he's like a professor of moral philosophy or something like that, and he literally, like, the joke is he goes up to the muffin stand and they're like, we've got blueberry or bran muffin, and he can't make a decision because he's like, which is going to impact my life more, or something like that. He's like, I choose to cry.
do you mind if do you want me to spoil some for you?
I mean, I'm probably not going to see the show. I don't know if the listening audience wants you to spoil.
Does
Spoil,
Scheboii care about the good
I don't
place?
even know what you're talking about.
It's a show on Netflix. I don't
have
watching
Netflix.
it just
So,
because my girlfriend was watching it. So.
I think it's at the end of the first season, as revealed, they're not actually in the good place. They're in the bad place.
Yeah.
And the place they're living in is actually like a way to like torture them. Like in this, it's kind of a convoluted. I thought the twist was stupid, but the reason like each person ended up being in the bad place, the reason he is like, despite being a philosophy and like a moral, I forget what the actual terms are, but he literally hurt people by like not being able to make decisions.
Yeah.
There's times where he was like, oh, my mom's sick, I gotta visit her, and I don't want to let my friend down, so I'm just gonna not do anything because I just can't decide.
The premise of the show is the good place and the bad place are supposed to be heaven and hell, and this group of people goes to hell because, as he mentioned, they've done things that send them to hell and then the guy who's like the demon, quote unquote, who's in charge of like.
Does it look like a normal like city?
Yeah.
Is what I'm assuming.
Well, he brings.
It's like a extra charming suburb with like a bunch of like yogurt shops.
Yeah,
and, like,
but, like,
it's like dressed up.
Everything is slightly off about it, like. That's kind of the thing that
Nuance.
makes it hell. Yeah, and so the guy, I don't know if he's the devil, the Dan, whoever this actor is who plays the old white guy.
He's basically like a.
He's not the devil, but he's like
he's
a
just
demon.
he's just like a demon who happens to be in charge of like this sector, and he has.
Yeah, so these 4 people come there, and he's like, no, they really weren't supposed to be in hell. They were supposed to go to heaven, but I guess he decided that they had to go to hell, or so, I don't know. But he brings them back to life, essentially, and is trying to make them go to the good place by, like, kind of forcing their hands, not so subtly, to make them do the right thing.
Okay, you must have known that spoiler, 'cause that shit happens, like, in later
Well, my
seasons.
girlfriend explained the whole thing to me,
okay,
really,
okay.
so, like, that's only why I know.
Okay, fair enough.
But I don't know. I don't want to talk about TV. I don't watch TV. I don't
It's a
care.
good place. This kind of goes back to, like, what we were talking about with, like, the, not, like, cancel culture, but, or just, like, the world we're living in where everything is so, like, has, like, this political edge to it. Did either of you watch the most recent Dave Chappelle stand-up?
I heard a lot about it,
No.
but honestly, I don't really care about his
No, that's
comedy
fine.
brand. So
The only, like,
whatever.
point I was going to make there, like, was the special kind of revolt is called Sticks and Stones, and it kind of has, like, this moral message about, like, you know, just becoming thick-skinned and basically it's his same shit, but, like, because it's coming out in 2019, he has to, like, kind of dress it up as, like, oh, y'all are fucking pussies, kind of.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. Like, I've heard that argument from a lot of like Jerry Seinfeld.
And it's
with
not
Chris Rock.
offensive at all.
Chris Rock has said the same thing. Like, at what point do we have to start censoring ourselves as comedians because what the jokes that we make are offensive to you? Like, one of my favorite Chris Rock skits, like he did back in the 90s, was like the difference between N-word with an A, N-word with an ER. Like, why black people hate N-word.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like probably one of his more famous skits, I think. Just laying out the different, like, you know, if he came out today and did something like that, like, everyone would kind of, like, be like, what the fuck, you know? Be like, how could he do this? You know, I know a lot of comedians are trying to fight that battle.
It would be a lot of white people saying that, too.
Yeah, of course it would be.
Which is a stupid thing.
The idea of, like, why should we... What we're doing is comedy, not trying to be offensive for the sake of being offensive. It's because we think it's funny and we want you guys to think it's funny, but...
I feel like kind of like ruins the comedy skit if you're trying to like make that sort of self-awareness point. Like, you already know you're a comedian and you're there to be laughed, and if like there's offensive things, you should assume that is like a rated R comedy skit.
Right. I mean...
You know, like,
this
like
is
I don't
funny.
know. I just feel like you shouldn't care that much. Like, I don't remember who. Like,
I think a point I
it's
want
like
to
if
make.
somebody makes like tons of fun, like Christians, I'm gonna be like, all right, whatever. But I'm not gonna like go on blogs and like. Rant
But there
about
will
it.
be some people that be like, I can't believe he would say this.
Yeah, and if
Christians
those
and blah, blah, blah."
some people, like, why are you now pandering your next comedy skit for those some people? Like, your whole hour long, like 30 minutes of it's gonna be pandering to those some people that complain about you.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know. That's just, like those 30 minutes could be spent making funny or offensive
Actual
jokes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and where does the line between, like, offensive and, like, jokes?
But then again, I don't really like. No,
And there are a lot of comedians that I
no
follow
line
and-
should be drawn. Offense for everything.
Oh no,
'Cause it's comedy.
I'm completely with that. And a point that Dave Chappelle made in his thing was like, y'all motherfuckers clicked on my face, watched it, waited until you got offended, and then wanted to shut me up, which is a big point. Like, not only are you able to shut your laptop or turn off your TV at any point, you don't have to support like the movie that offended you or whatever, but like there is such a obvious, like, people want to be angry about something
Oh, yeah.
just because it's out there, and 90% of the time they don't even like wait to hear the end of the story or end of the joke before they light up the person under their ass, and the person will apologize despite that they know if they would have watched the whole thing or heard the end of the joke, they obviously would not have been offended.
I
Just
think that
pandering to
sends-
idiots.
Says
Right.
more about that person than it does
I
about
think
the
it was
comedian.
both Jerry Seinfeld and Chris Rock said they weren't going to play, like, shows at college campuses anymore, just because every time they would go, people would come and protest it. Because, oh, you know, they're being offensive with their comedy and they shouldn't do that. But, yeah, you're right. People. I think one of the points that was made to me a while ago was people who really just don't have a lot of things going on in their own lives. This is a very kind of, like, shallow point to make. people who don't have a lot going on in their own lives need to have something to worry about, or like have another group of people to be offended for, or like feel concerned about. Man, that might be just white privilege. It is white privilege to be like, I feel offended for this other group of people because they can't stand up for them or whatever, you know.
And it's not necessarily coming from like this evil place, like in their heart they feel like they're doing something good, but it's like such a naive point of view.
It's the way that they do it more than like what they're doing.
That
like,
too.
Like, I want to stick up for this group that I feel is like not being stuck up for, but the way I'm doing it is to just
shut this other
shut this
down.
whole, like just
Or shut
rant,
this person down.
just to rant, not to add something.
Yeah, and trying to shut someone up half the time will make that person just louder.
Yeah, and we'll actually
shout out to Trump for being elected when people tried to shut him down.
I mean, it's psychologically proven that if you're going to come at someone and like tell them why they're wrong for believing what they believe, it's just going to push them in the corner, and they're just going to more zealot, be more. I don't know the word I'm looking for. Be more get more. Oh God, I'm just stuttering.
They believe their stuff more.
Right.
When you attack their.
I was trying to think of the word.
When you challenge them.
If you ever are offended by something or want something to like be shut down, like don't enter cancel culture and try to shut it down. Not only because you're shutting down art, but because if you ignore something, that's how it dies. The less attention it gets, that's how it dies.
Mm-hmm.
If you give it power, then other people will see it, and once other people have seen it, it'll eventually find the right amount of people who will propel it up as something.
I mean, I think that's why I think they did the whole like making Ariel black for the new Little Mermaid remake, because they knew that a lot of people are going to be like, what is this? How could they do this to our, you know?
I made a whole video about it.
Oh my God. Like, it's like they know how to play people.
Yep.
Because they know people are going to be offended about it and talk, like people are going to say, everyone's going to have an opinion on it. So they know it's just it's like that self-promotion.
Yeah, I saw.
They don't even have to like, Disney doesn't have to do it, like put out any previews for it. They can just let this thing
I feel like
stew over, yep.
If anything else, though, I feel like they could make a new Disney princess that is black and like really
that's the thing.
Like outdo themselves.
That's what the point that in some of the circles that I've read.
But other than that, I mean,
they got two now.
Right.
Moana's ethnic and
two whole
Tiana.
I mean, two in the past like 8 years, and they put out like two of these or one of these every 2 years. So that's almost half.
I mean they've had
Mulan
was Chinese and
Mulan was a great movie.
It was. Yeah. Tiana is the one I think you were thinking of from Princess and the Frog. She's black.
She's good.
Moana
that was a good movie.
You know, Southeast Asian.
I wasn't really a fan of Moana. Just like the story, it was kind of dry for me.
No, I love Moana.
It was very like visually very appealing, but like.
But you're right.
The story really wasn't.
Scheboii, if instead of taking the stories that we've kind of already set up with the characters, the way that we've kind of already set them, let's come up with something new. Let them, kind of create their own mythos, and we'll, if it's good, then sure, let's go ahead and do it. Instead of, I don't mean to sound like they're taking something that was ours to begin with, but co-opting stories that from Anglo culture.
You know, it'd be really cool if like Disney released like a big, huge like box set of all the old Disney princess movies, like as an HD like.
Remake. Well, I'll tell you the thing that was kind of a trip for me when I went up to stay at my girlfriend's parents' house.
I don't know if they have or not. If they
her stepdad has all the old Disney movies on VHS.
Yeah, my parents do.
And they're all nice and lined up. And I was like, oh man.
I have a decent amount, like the ones I kept from childhood.
Yeah, we might have ours somewhere hidden.
I still have my Yu-Gi-Oh movie on a VHS. The original one.
The Pyramid movie.
Yeah, I love that thing.
Oh yeah, I watched the Digimon movie, and I didn't even like Digimon, but I watched that shit like a stupid amount of times.
I used to watch all the Scooby-Doo movies.
I know that soundtrack because of that movie. Good times.
Yeah, it was. Well, I think we've kind of gone over
this nice content list rants.
So yeah, do we want to do like, I don't know, as I was saying earlier, talking about this Halloween idea, I kind of want to just do this now.
Oh, yeah,
just 'cause
back
I'm
in the
thinking
day.
about it.
Strike the iron while it's hot, man.
Exactly. Since we were
going
at the
on
Halloween,
Halloween?
we went to the Halloween store earlier. Not the three of us, but myself and my girlfriend. 'Cause Halloween's her favorite holiday. It's not really I like it for what it is, but it's not my favorite. But I do enjoy dressing up because I too am a child. But what would you guys say? I'm sure you guys still, I don't know, maybe like to get dressed up for, even if you don't really do anything, maybe go to a party or go hang out downtown. But do you guys still do the costumes?
There was a
every
couple
year?
years I did
Every other
something,
year,
but,
maybe?
Like,
yeah, every
I
other year.
always want to, but it's like costumes are like $50 or something.
They're expensive.
So it's I desperately like really want to, but it's like I don't have like the social like crew who are just like, yeah, let's go
Right.
and do this, and I don't necessarily like. I usually am working, and then 9 times out of 10 it's like, okay, like it's just like the stars haven't aligned, but like if they did, I would be more than happy to.
Right. See, the way that I kind of look at it is I will buy an expensive costume like when I say expensive, I mean like $100 or more, like at like 1 year, and then I'll wear it like 3, 4, 5 years in a row. Like I have a very nice King Henry costume that I've worn like probably 4 years in a row. It's a good costume, but I think I'm gonna retire it this year.
Oh yeah.
I usually just even if I don't have anything like that I've bought, I'll usually maybe dig an old one out. Like I was telling my girlfriend that I used to dress up as the Wolf of Wall Street, and I had a werewolf mask, and I'd dress up in a suit with like the werewolf gloves and carry around like an economics book and be like,
That's clever.
it was
I like that.
it was a fun for a couple years in my late teens, and then I was like, all right, I need to do something different. Some years I'll dress up.
Did he bring it back when that movie came out?
No, I think that might have been what inspired me, was to do
okay.
that movie. So
That was
I
an
was like,
amazing movie.
I never saw it, but how about you, Scheboii? Are you
A costume boy.
As far
costume
as
boy?
like my later teens, I only did like 2 different things where I dressed up as like me and a group of my friends when we were actually like enjoyed skateboarding. We dressed up as like your typical like robber thug person, and we'd just ride around the suburbs
Oh man.
on our skateboards, just like terrorizing people, and like we'd like scratch like these homemade like weapons along this street and stuff.
Hello, police.
Yeah, basically. And then another year, I dressed up as Slenderman because I got a white morph suit and my old like wedding suit from one of my sister's weddings, and I just like stood in different areas with my friends, and like they'd like stand me somewhere. I'd
You
scare
just
people.
hang out
Yeah,
there.
just kind of hang out and wait for people to walk by.
See, this year, like my girlfriend.
Being 6'4", it's very nice to be.
Yeah, exactly.
A Slenderman.
My girlfriend likes to do the dress up. Like she's older than me and has been doing it for a really long time. And we kind of like to, like last year was our first Halloween together, and this year we're kind of trying to conceptualize ideas for costumes. And as we were at the store earlier today, I was kind of on a Batman kick, and I saw the Batman section, albeit small and mostly just Joker stuff. I was like, man, that would be cool to do something. Like I just went for like the first one that I saw, and it was like the Riddler suit. And I just grabbed the jacket for the Riddler suit and put it on, and I was like, now to do like a not over the top kind of Batman, but more like, or not Batman, but a Batman villain, but more kind of like a Nolan concept of what like this Batman villain may be.
Which one is Nolan?
The one who did
Dark
Knight
Oh, okay.
Rises and Batman Begins. Not in that order, but
Scheboii, do you not like just pay attention to like directors even like?
I get it though, where he's like,
you
it's
Americans and your actors and your directors.
I know.
You say this every
Trivia.
podcast. It's
I'm
not
right there with
trivia.
him.
It's like that's how we know which one we're talking about. Like
Yeah. It's just
I'm
because
sorry,
I
I know-
am very fond of them. That's why I know them. If you had said
People
like
I care about are in the Bible. They're not on TV.
oh god,
There you
if
go.
you had said like Michael Keaton Batman, I'd be like, what? Which one was that? Like I would go boom right over my head, or like George Clooney Batman, I'd be like, boom right over my head. Like that's what one of our other coworkers.
I get to pick and
T2.
choose who I care about.
T2. I don't think that's too specific.
That's fine.
Had said had made a quote from the Michael
We don't
Keaton.
get found out from her.
Yeah.
Dorian.
Had made a quote to me from that, and I was like, it went right over my head, and he's like, yeah, it's from the Michael Keaton Batman. I was like, oh, boom, right over my head. But I was like, kind of just looking. I was like, man, I was like, I should get the boys. I was like, we should do some old school like Batman, not like that over the top like. With the Riddler, you know, where he's got the question marks all over his suit, but I mean something a little more classy than that,
Old
like
school, like
just like
cartoon.
like a green blazer with the gray pants and the black, like.
I would recommend looking at like the Arkham Asylum games because that's more like nitty gritty, and he's kind of just wearing like a big jacket with like a question mark, and he's got like a more thug look to him.
Well, I was gonna say if I did, like, I don't know why I was drawn to the Riddler. It's just because the first one that I saw, I would, you know, do like maybe the green blazer with like the question mark tie, and like a white shirt or gray shirt underneath it with the gray pants, black shoes, and then like maybe do like that little like
a little mask.
Little mask that
And his little hat.
And the little pork pie with the question mark on it to make it, you know, I don't want it to be like too cartoony and over the top, but to keep it a little bit. And then I was like carrying around a crowbar with like one of those rubber crowbars there. I was like, man, this would be cool. Get the boys, get like Scheboii as the penguin or something, and
the shortest and fattest dude.
I was gonna say he's not the.
If anything,
like you look like you could be a Riddler guy. Like I don't know if we're going for like accurate like cosplay shit, but
I
like
was
you
kind
look,
of thinking about it.
Like you look like you could pull off that. Who would
I don't really know that man. Dr. Freeze, Mr. Freeze. Dr.
Yeah,
Freeze? I don't remember.
Mr. I guess he could do Mr. Freeze, like if he wants.
Yeah,
to.
I mean
money
that's too
going
much
into
work.
That's a lot.
He could just do Bane.
And he's not that buff though.
He's buff enough.
No offense, but
He's okay. Yeah, he's buff enough.
yeah.
Bane's also like short. Like he
Yeah,
looks
but
good.
if
in that
anyone
movie,
would
but
do Bane, I
Because I
would say
cannot do the
Soul
voice
would
that
be.
well.
I would not be Bane.
Shave
No,
your
no.
head, Soul.
I would wear a bald cap, sir.
Fulfill Ra's al Ghul's
All
destiny.
three of us just doing terrible Bane voices.
Fulfill Ra's al Ghul's destiny.
I mean, I can shave
I
my
was
head.
born in the darkness.
My girlfriend's kind of like
Bald
questioning
is
what
bad.
I'd look like if I was bald. So I could
God.
do that.
Oh God.
Oh God.
Don't. I meant like don't do it. Like I've been down that road. Don't do it.
See, he's
Don't
already,
shave
see
your
the other
head.
thing I was
Have
like,
you
don't do
seen-
Bane because don't do characters that have already been done, like the Joker or like Bane. Like let's do, if we were gonna do it, like do something that hasn't quite been done yet.
I mean, the Riddler's been kind of done.
I
at this
mean,
point.
not in like Nolan
like
style, but like
he's had his own movie. He was in Batman Forever.
yeah, all right.
With Val
that
Kilmer.
was-
I need
yeah.
to look up like what are the villains. of Batman?
There's a lot
I'm
of
not-
them, man. There's
There are a lot
Two-Face.
of-
That would be kind of hard to do
Oh,
though.
Two-Face.
There's
I was Two-Face one.
I want to be Catwoman.
you could just do like a Red Hood
I
type
mean,
thing. You
We could
do-
all like we could even get
Ra's
Nucci in
al
on it
Ghul.
and get her to do like this
Doom
kind of
Master.
her interpretation of what like,
Black
Poison
Mask.
Ivy would be.
Calendar Man. What?
Yeah, oh, Calendar Man's a classic. He gets his powers
The Mad
on a
Hatter.
holiday.
Yeah,
I could do the Mad Hatter.
Mad Hatter. People would just assume you're the actual Mad Hatter though. If you're
Yeah.
Deadshot. Is Deadshot specifically like black or is
No,
that just
he was
Will
originally
Smith?
white.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine if yeah.
You could be Deathstroke. You could be there's a lot of them.
Black Mask,
There's a Catman. Killer Moth.
Hugo Strange. You might make a good Hugo Strange.
It's not old enough.
No. What would you
Black
be,
Slave?
Soul, if you... Oh, I got it. Man Bat.
Man Bat. What is that?
I would
No.
want to be Joker, but again, that's kind of cliche. I feel
Yeah.
like someone would have to be Joker though.
Humpty Dumpty.
I don't know, man. See, when I was thinking about it, I was like, we should do something like, as I said, like someone who hasn't been done before. You might make a good, if you don't want to like,
I mean, I wouldn't mind being a Penguin or something.
yeah, like
Maybe
Penguin
this-
would be good for Soul, I think, because you're kind of,
Oh,
you're
no, that's a
a little
movie.
bit bigger than I am, and probably cut a dashing figure in a suit. You could probably do a good Scarecrow, boy.
Oh yeah, Scarecrow.
That'd be pretty easy. I mean, all you have to do. I mean, it's.
Okay, this is.
I was about to say we don't need to do the whole
we're not
idea
listening.
here on the podcast.
Just cut this
We
whole
can work
section
that
out
out later.
at this point.
Yeah.
But
What are we? We're all gonna ask off for Halloween.
I already put in.
Totally
I don't think
screwed.
we're all gonna get it.
No,
but
I'm not asking.
it'd
off.
be
I'm
something
good.
if we wanted to go like out later that night and like go just
Yeah, I'd be down.
bounce downtown for a little while and just walk around and like
See
talk
all the
shit to
people in
Batman.
And their sloot costumes.
Yeah, go on Floozy
The
Patrol.
floozies, yeah.
Floozy Patrol.
My girl is like the biggest Batman fan, so she would be super into that. She's got like Harley Quinn.
I mean,
stuff,
she could
too.
even come with us. Well, if Nucci wanted to go, then
I mean, I could be the Joker and my girlfriend be Harley Quinn. Nah.
No,
Nah.
my girl and I would have that copyrighted. Okay, that is ours.
Too late.
In my phone or in her phone, like it says my Batman or some shit like that
Right.
for my name. That's how much she's into it. Is that?
Was this supposed to be in the?
I think we threw that one out.
Yeah, we did throw that one out because we
Especially
kind
'cause
of
I
we
don't
went
have
over
one.
that topic
Off camera.
off camera. Yeah, because I was too embarrassed to tell that story on the air. But I guess we're approaching the end of the first hour, and we've kind of just
Dicked
talked about
around.
nothing. That
honestly.
we just shit posted for an hour, basically about Halloween, and
That's fine. Well, we went on a good tangent with the comedy thing.
yeah, that was good for a bit. But
Let's just pat ourselves on the back for all this. They
yes.
want to listen to that.
Self-flating intellectuals over here. My fellow kings and I have.
Let's just shake around.
Yes. Good job, fellow kings. Job well done. Pick your head up. You don't want your crown your diamond helmet to fall off.
Why did you start bringing that up?
I don't know. I just saw it in, I've been seeing it in some of my Doge Facebook groups, and I just it was funny.
Scheboii is now calling all the men at work kings. Not all of them, but a good majority.
Most of them, yes.
Which pretty much started because we were talking about incels on this podcast.
Yeah,
so.
that's a very incel thing to do is be like, oh, everyone's a king. King, king, king. King this, king that.
So just telling some 60-year-old worker from Jersey, "Hey King, how you doing?"
How you doing, king?
It's
Well,
kinda-
I think it was you that did that just without even thinking about it.
Yep, it was funny. He's
Man,
just like-
maybe this is what I should take the
he had
text
no
out of this and
response.
make that my new my new picture.
I like it. I never wanted to have the avatars be permanent.
Yeah, we could change it for season 2, I guess.
Yeah.
I'll just all Doge meme all the
The
time.
last-minute Pepe dabbing meme that I found.
All right,
Throw it
should
there.
we go for the book it then? Oh, I'm the host. I need to do the
Yeah,
bookets.
you need to host, man.
But pretty soon I'm gonna be the permanent editor, permanent host.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm fine with that. We just show up and you do all the work. Well, I had mentioned
Reap
that
the rewards.
Scheboii, I was like, what if we just you and I just split the editing? We'll just do it and then we'll send it over to him to do the video. And then he's like, that we can't do that. It has to be done at the same time. I was like,
It's
oh, well,
basically done at the same time.
never mind then.
Yeah, that.
He was like, "Well, I can
That
do the
sounds
video and you
harder.
can do the audio." I'm like, "No, what?"
Just because I
I
didn't
mean,
do that video.
I mean, there is the aspect of listening to the whole thing through and cutting out awkward parts or parts where we slip up or do something. But you might as well just put the video with that. Oh, he's got a
First
topic.
was drawn.
I have the topic drawn.
What is it?
Fucking
read it.
Pokemon. This is
Oh,
your
shit.
favorite Pokemon. I think that was written by Soul, if I
I
had
don't
to
think
guess.
so.
In his
Is it? Oh no,
Is it?
this is.
Pokemon trainer.
I don't even
He's in
remember.
a
reading
Pokemon.
this. I'm literally wearing
Sure.
a Pokemon tank top.
So, Soul, what is your
They
favorite
got me.
Pokemon?
Why do I gotta start? I feel like. Okay. So, before we lay down that groundwork, because this is probably the most serious topic we have ever
It's
gone
the
through
most serious
on Kitchen
topic.
Bitches. This is some big shit we're about to get into.
Pokemon.
This is gonna get deep into our psyches
This
in
is
a
going
way
to fill up the last hour. So.
you guys will not understand. I can already feel flame wars. I can feel a sniper right
Oh.
outside that window.
You're talking about the audience is about.
No, I mean that too.
Just
but
in this room.
the entire world, I think, is not
It's
going to be
just
ready for
listening
this
in now.
conversation.
What are they gonna say?
like the suspense. They're looking at a chart. They're looking at numbers. They're like,
Waiting for
which
the-
one is it?
For the second week in a row, Nucci is tuned out. For this
Yeah.
first, now she's tuned out. The second hour, tunes out of the first hour.
She needs to be here.
Yeah, you need to listen, damn it. We have important things to say.
All right. So before we get into that, like, let's go down the list and talk about what is our gens in history with Pokemon.
Okay.
Starting with me, I started with I was never really into Pokemon until like they got around to like Gen 4, and then my brother started to get really into it. By this time, that like part of my brain which was like Pokemon's for kids was finally dead. And I was like, I don't give a shit. So I played through like Leaf Green. That was my first game. Then I moved on to like Pearl, Soul Silver. And at that point, I was like a fucking crack addict. And from that point on, like I slowly got more casual about it, but I still played each one. So like Gen 1 through 4, I'm really big on. And I like the other ones, but there's some shitty ones out there. I know some people like the newer ones, but there's a lot of them I think are cool and some.
There's definitely a lot that it's just like, let me fill that Pokedex spot.
Yeah, a lot of them are. And a big thing they do with the designs nowadays, they look a lot more like, they don't have like sharp edges, they just have they look like a lot more like kid characters
Cartoony.
nowadays. Yeah, they all have like big heads and like big eyes and like they all smile, and it's like, like back in the day, like
Anime.
what happened to like the Growlists and the Vulpixes where it's like defined.
Sharp edges, dinosaurs,
Exactly.
dragons.
But I think, that's just how animation has changed. Everything's more circular, less squares and triangles. Whatever.
It's easier on the eyes for the children who can't focus for more than 30 seconds.
That is true.
Yeah.
But, my favorite...
Have you played every single game? Not like version-wise, but like...
No, not every version, but every generation I've played. There's the only, like, big entry I ever skipped was the sequel to Pokemon Black. It was literally just called Black 2. I skipped that one, but I played...
Back to the Future.
This guy. But after that, it was like Pokemon Sun, the remake to Omega or Ruby, what's called Omega Ruby, which I borrowed to this guy named Scheboii, who is still
hasn't
yet to
played
play
it
it.
yet.
I don't care if he returns it to me on time. I just gives a shit if he plays it.
Why did you borrow Omega Ruby?
Because I was
You've never
feeling a
played Ruby?
particular itch one day that I needed to scratch, and I was like, bruh, let me get that Pokemon. I know you smoking that pack. I know. You got that Pokemon. Give it to me. And he gave it to me, and then I was like, yep. This is mine now, and I'm not going to play it. And then when he asked for it back, I'm going to be like, all right. Where did I put that? Oh, there it is. Anyway,
that is my history.
digression.
My favorite Pokemon is called...
Whoa.
What?
Whoa!
What?
We haven't done ours yet.
No,
okay.
he's-
Oh, no, you're right. We gotta...
we're going.
We gotta warm them up. We gotta warm them.
Okay.
See it.
Warm 'em up.
We just had them like at the ready. They were on their seat. They're like...
And then he said, meh, and then it cut back.
The dislikes. Fall, you motherfucker.
Boom,
I
boom.
just care
There's-
about
there's-
Souls history.
They're
Fuck
salivating.
the rest of y'all.
No, this one are the number ones. And they're salivating for it. Schwogi, since
Sucking
you're
off my
next.
ears.
in this
Okay.
little-
Now, being that I am older than both of you guys, I am
played
the
less.
30-year-old.
You are.
I am not quite 30, but I am the 30-year-old boomer when it comes to Pokemon. I got into it. I want to say I was maybe, I
It's
got
going
it.
age and everything now.
I can't remember. I must have been 8, 9 maybe. That was like very first gen, Kanto region.
You got red or blue?
It was yellow was my first entry.
Okay.
I got, for my birthday
Color.
one year, I got a yellow Game Boy with Pokemon Yellow, and that was my first intro to the series. And then when the second gen, like I watched all the TV shows, I did the cards when I was a kid, did all that good shit. And then Gen 2 came around, and I was slightly interested, but it was about that time I was maybe like 11, 12 when Gen 2 was a thing. I was kind of like, yeah, this is fine. Like, I wasn't as excited about it as I was Gen 1. Didn't play, like, what was it? It was Silver and Gold was Gen 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Silver,
Didn't play either of
Okay.
those.
crystal,
Can I-
silver, gold.
Yeah, can I tell you about Gen 2 and why it's like it's pretty much the best region?
Perfect.
So-
It's a perfect reason.
All right, tell me why. I'm
Okay.
gonna tell you
Just
no.
interrupt him
I'm gonna tell you
completely.
no right away, but okay.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, you're like Gen 3. No,
Gen 1,
4.
boy.
Oh really? I thought you liked.
I said I'm a 30-year-old boomer. Gen 1.
I thought you
will
were
always
like
be the
Emerald all
best.
the way.
So ever since Gen 2, each time they have a new gen, it's just like, oh, here's a new region, here's a new like 100 to 150 Pokemon, our new mechanics. It's very much just the formula.
Mm-hmm.
Gen 2 was like, okay, let's make a similar game to 1, have a bunch of new mechanics. They added like a day and night cycle, so there's certain Pokemon you can only catch at night, but you're like on a fucking Game Boy. That's fucking revolutionary. I'm playing the game at night. I can't see the screen, but it's nighttime in the game, so I can't see the screen even more. It's fucking great. Other than that,
Certain days too.
yeah,
Affected like the bug
Yep.
catching thing on
Yep.
like Thursdays.
Yep. And then there was things like you had like a radio, and like I think there was like in order to wake up Snorlax, you had to like play a thing on the radio, and it got crazy. On top of that, I don't want to get into the mechanics of the game, but like there's certain things that the choices that they made I thought were better. And on top of that, once you beat Gen 2, like you go defeat the Elite Four, all that shit, you go back to Gen 1. You can fight all the you just travel there, you fight all the gym leaders there, you fight all those dudes, and then you climb something called Mount Silver, which is like the most fucking epic battle place ever. Like there's dope ass fucking Pokemon everywhere. It's where you get like Tyrannitars and Sneasels and all these things.
Yeah.
And then once you get to the top of it, there's a trainer there waiting for you, and he is the character from Pokemon Red, the guy you
Red.
played from.
Yeah.
He has like Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur, like a Pikachu. A lot of people thought it was Ash, but it's actually, the character from the last game.
Right.
Like, and that's like end credits after you beat him.
Okay.
Never has that been done since. So you have basically 2 whole games, tons of new features, better Pokemon. Fucking Lugia is in that game. You got fucking
Lugia, Ho-Oh, Entei, and then Entei's 2.
Yeah. You got
Whatever
the
their names are.
Raikou, Suicune.
There's 3 of them. Yeah.
Yeah, there's 3 of them. You fucking
Yeah.
Casual.
Boom. Told you, Gen 2 was... I kind of fell off the map for Gen 2.
But
I picked it up again.
that was pretty much it, though.
Right.
On my rant.
I picked it up again at Gen 3 with Emerald, I think was...
Yeah, I played through
That was
Emerald.
Gen 3, and I really enjoyed that, so that would be my number 2, would be Gen 3. And then, like, since Emerald, like, I have not... I got Fire Red, of course, because I was going call back into the first gen, so of course I had to have that.
Mm-hmm.
And then pretty much everything after that, like, I have not. As Soul had mentioned, I was slightly interested in playing through Omega Ruby just because it's Pokemon that I'm familiar with.
And big graphics update. There's animations.
Yeah, all that stuff. So I was like, yeah, this is going to be great. And then I just never got around to it.
Mhm.
So,
So you've only played up to Gen 3?
yeah. Really, like, and I don't even know
Wow.
Gen 3 that. Like, I know Gen 1
So that's
probably
less than
front
half.
to back.
Because
like,
we're coming up on like Gen 8. So
I know. I'm a boomer.
Well, I haven't
Completely
gotten
through
that
and
much
through.
farther. Technically.
I'm in Gen 1, I know from like front to back to front. Like I know all the names, I know all the, all that good stuff. Gen 3, like I kind of a little bit, can't think of a whole lot of them off the top of my head. But yeah, ever since like Gen 3, I just kind of like not paid attention to the Pokemon series whatsoever. Other than maybe like checking out who like the new legendaries are. But beyond that, it's just been pretty much comfortable where I'm at. And I'll save my favorite Pokemon until...
I will say, like, if there's a good time to get back into Pokemon, like, a lot of people did that, like, with Sun and Moon and, like, a lot of these remakes. But now that it's coming to the Switch...
Oh, Sun and Moon was a real thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I thought that was a
what,
meme.
7?
Yeah.
I thought they were just joking about
It was
that.
7. Sun and Moon was 7.
Yeah, before that
Wow.
was X and Y, before that was Black and White, which is 5. Before that was
Black and
Diamond.
White was a real thing?
Yes.
Wow.
I haven't got... Okay. Anyways.
But I was just gonna finish. It's a great time. Like, it's coming to the Switch. Pokemon Go is a huge thing.
Yeah, I did Pokemon Go for a long time because that was like the Gen 1 again. I was like, yeah, Gen 1. That's why I got Let's Go Pikachu, but I still couldn't beat that.
It's crazy. Like, some of my least favorite Pokemon are also in Gen 1. There's a lot.
Gen 1 is gonna be my shit forever.
I don't hate them, but like I really don't like Shelter, Dotrio.
Oyster.
Yeah, like those ones are
Shelter?
ugly.
Yeah.
Sheldon. Never mind. Shelter.
I think it's Shelter, and then he evolves into the Cloyster, the Clawmeister,
Oh, I thought it was talking about the...
the Porygon.
No, the thing you take care of is
I
like a
like
daycare
Porygon.
thing. And he's like, oh, just keep it.
He's like, yeah, it sucks, I don't want it. And then you're like, oh, I got this Slowpoke. Let me put this thing on the slow... Oh my god, what is this? And now I've got a Slowbro. Jesus Christ.
And then I gave him an item, and now he's a Slow King.
That-
He's the
that-
first king.
That never happened.
Oh, Slow
Pro
King.
tip, it never happens.
Slow King is one of the best boys. He would be in my
Alright.
top list.
Well, now
Scheboii.
it's time for
Your
me.
turn, yep.
You guys haven't tuned out already.
No, this is my favorite episode already.
Because of Pokemon?
Yep.
Well, I didn't get into Gen
Easy
1.
title. This is the
I
Pokemon
started with
episode.
Gen 2, just because I was late to the party.
Yeah.
And
I
I still have my original Pokemon Gold on the Game Boy Color. I still have
Ooh.
it in my house. And I actually started with Pokemon Crystal, and then I got Gold. And then I bought
Crystal was weird.
Pokemon
Fire Red,
Fire Red?
Yeah.
I think it was
which
Fire
was a
Red.
remake of Gen 1.
Yeah, so I eventually got into Gen 1 again. And then I bought Pokemon Ruby. And I didn't realize that there were different versions of like the same game. So then I bought Emerald thinking like, oh my gosh, it's a new game.
And then you were like, wait, what?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
started out and I was like, what's going on? It's just like there's only like two main differences, like how you fought Rayquaza,
Oh, God.
like whether or not you could
Yeah,
catch
there was like
Fire Red
extra
or not.
ones you could get. It's a fucking marketing scam. But
Yeah,
the sad thing is, I bought.
I bought it. I paid money for it as a kid. $30 more.
I mean,
for a game that-
the more pathetic thing was what I did during Gen 4, which was I had Pearl, and then I bought Platinum, knowingly that it was just a slightly better version. But I was
Oh my
like,
God.
I just wanted the
Yeah,
few new
you
Pokemon.
didn't care. You're just like, I want to give it
And
to
then
me.
I bought
Give it to me.
Pokemon Diamond. So I made it all the way to Diamond. And then the DS that I owned got rained on, so it broke, and my parents would never buy me a new Nintendo thing.
Which is what should happen if you ever.
F.
Pressed F.
You press F on the keyboard for those listening.
Yeah.
Visual gags are the best gags.
Especially
on the
for
radio.
podcasts.
Yeah, on the radio.
But you never. Which ones have you beat?
I've beaten all of them.
Oh,
that I've
including
listed.
Gen 4? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't really understand
You're
what
farther
was
than
going
this
on.
motherfucker.
Like
You
half.
haven't beaten-
What's considered beating? Like getting through the Elite Four?
Yeah.
Because I haven't beaten technically like.
I would say
the,
like maybe catching whatever the mascot is for that game is like the
like the
almost
90%,
ending. Yeah, like the
Mm.
90%.
Plus beating the Elite Four would be make it the 100%.
Yeah. Because
'Cause
a
I
lot of the
haven't-
stories revolve around catching the legendary.
I never went back
Mhm.
to the first, to Gen 1 when I was playing Pokemon Gold. So, I didn't technically beat it, but I beat the first Elite Four.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
All right.
well, you know our backgrounds. You got a taste for. I wish I had like a later gen just so I could be different than you guys, but it's gonna be a early gen stroke over here.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I
We
can't
got the
afford
boom-
new stuff.
We got the
I just
boomer
don't
and the
care.
kid who just didn't buy the new ones because
Man.
his DS got rained on, and his
Kids-
parents
My DS got
were
rained
his
on. Kids
parents
these
did the
days.
right decision, which is my kid. If it gets stolen or something, I'm like, yep, that's it.
Yep.
But I know you have
That's
the money.
fine.
I do have the money. Doesn't
I'll
fucking
take
matter.
it.
You're not
Yeah.
getting another
Yeah.
one.
So I bought a PSP instead and played that.
Right. When we
Yeah.
first moved
Ugh.
to, we were moving.
Oh, to the
That had some great games. in
to
there.
the PSP and the Vita. Ugh.
Wow. Just destroyed
In
my childhood.
fairness, I haven't played that much of it, but like the lineup isn't that impressive to me. And all the games I did want to play just got moved to the PS3.
Yeah, my parents weren't really a fan of like consoles, so handheld was the way to go. So
Oh,
PSP.
okay. They didn't want you using their TV.
Yeah, exactly. Now that I realize what. But then I finally got my own in my room. And we were good.
Goals.
Yeah. Hashtag. So our favorite Pokemon now then.
Oh,
My favorite
Soul.
Pokemon is Lugia, who is the mascot for Soul Silver, which is the game I put.
I still picture him
Hundreds
as
of
the
hours.
mascot of everything. Lugia.
Lugia? He's also
Lugia.
yeah. So did you play Silver or Gold?
I played Gold and Crystal.
Okay.
I didn't play
So, Ho-Ho is trash compared to Lugia, first off.
Yes.
In my opinion.
Yeah,
Ho-Ho's
probably.
kind of just like a big turkey peacock thing, and Lugia is like the most
Ho-Oh
majestic
is like the
creature.
first. Ho-Ho. Is it Ho-Ho or Ho-Oh?
Ho-Ho.
Ho-Ho. It's like the first Pokemon that, like, legendary Pokemon that Ash sees
So.
in the movie. So it's like, come on.
It is.
That's
I
at least,
mean-
like.
I mean,
at
it
least
is-
Give
it
it
is
credit
kind-
where
yeah.
credit's due. You know, Lugia didn't pop up right away.
They made a movie where like an alternate timeline where he actually like chases down Ho-Ho, which is actually pretty cool.
Really? I need
Yeah.
to see that then.
I just don't like his design.
It's kind of obnoxious, yeah.
Yeah, but get into more of the specifics why he's my favorite. Not only was he like the mascot of that, he was also the main dude in Pokemon 2000, which I like just as much as like the first movie. So he got points, and he like he was just made to be so majestic in that movie. He didn't show up till like the last like third act, and the second he shows up, it's like Deus Ex Machina plot fucking armor from hell. He's just made to be like the fucking god, the goat. Not only that, like he has like kind of like what I want from every Pokemon design, which is like simplicity, but also like
I think you like the dragon looks.
I like the dragon looks, but also like if like
He's the wyvern.
but also like there's like an
Which
there's
is
like an
kinda
episode of the
good.
anime where there's like a baby Lugia, and he can look fucking cute. He can look fucking badass. He can look fucking majestic. If he had a plushie, which I do own, it's fucking cute. Like he ticks all the boxes, and
Or you could have the real thing, which I do.
yep, I just walk outside like that, and I specifically remember I had a dream as a kid that I was like riding Lugia, and that was like heaven.
Yeah, it's the
So are we doing like, what about your favorite like non-legendary Pokemon? Because that's I don't know.
I'm gonna be like if I could count all of the Eevees as one, I might do that. I also really fucking like Dragonite. I really fucking like
Dragonite.
yeah, Dragonite.
I don't know. He's ugly.
Fuck
It does
you.
look kind of goofy.
He's like
That's what's great about him.
He's just a king.
He's fucking dope.
Dragonite.
That's what I picture
It's
him.
like Barney.
But
Yes.
love Lapras. Love
You don't realize how like tall he's supposed to be.
Yeah, he is like supposed to be like 8 feet tall.
who?
Oh, Dragonite's supposed to be
Oh,
like
Dragon-
12,
no.
15
Oh, is he?
feet.
I thought he was.
high. He's
I
huge.
thought he was like 8 feet. I could be
I
wrong.
thought he was like 8 foot.
I don't know.
Maybe not. Look at this kid over here. He's like, I don't like Gen 1, but all my favorite Pokemon come from Gen 1.
No, no, that's the reason.
He's 7'3".
See?
He's can dunk on me.
He's a big
Mewtwo
boy.
is 6'7" though. God,
Yeah, they're all big boys.
that doesn't
There it
make
is.
sense. Why does
20.
Dragonair go from 13
Is it
feet
the
to
snake?
7 feet?
But yeah, it's like it doesn't have legs.
It flexes on you by standing on its tail.
It's 13 feet. And
What
it's
up,
just like, let
bitch?
me shrink a little bit.
There's some Pokemon that like lose arms and shit. Think how shitty that would be. Like you just have arms and then you evolve and you're like, what the fuck? There's like a snake one where it's like, and then it evolves and it's like, what the fuck happened?
Where did my arms go?
I ain't got no arms.
But yeah, most of my favorites are from Gen 1 because just more history and.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I like a lot of the later ones too. They're just not my favorites.
Yeah.
Schwoogie here? You're up next,
I guess
boy?
I'll start with the legendary. Man, that's hard for me. Like
You also have to say if it's your like
God.
favorite.
Well, I guess I'll start
Uh,
with my favorite then, and I've like rotated a lot, but the one that I always fall back on is like my favorite has always been Arcanine. Just 'cause
That's a good one.
a
big
good one.
fire dog. That's
Doge.
big fire doge. Like that's it's always been my like something about it was screams like regal, majestic.
I think that goes back to what I was saying, where it can tick all the boxes, like of cute,
Right, of this,
badass,
like-
majestic, like whatever you want it to be, it can do it.
Yeah, I think that's why I like it. But when we go to like, Legendary, then I'll probably have to skip to Gen 3 and say that maybe...
Rayquaza, Deoxys.
Yeah, it's got to be Rayquaza or like Groudon. Deoxys is good too. Probably Rayquaza, I would say, is probably my...
There's a
Gen
big
3.
debate on how to say his name. It's either Rayquaza or Rayquaza.
I think Rayquaza is the way that I always say it.
Rayquaza. Oh, I haven't heard that one. That's a new one.
Rayquaza? Yeah, I guess, I don't know.
Ultimately, it doesn't matter. These are like made up. Like there's the Japanese names
Right.
and then the English names, which like the anime will say differently than this other thing. And
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
So, like, yeah, I'd say Arcanine, but, I'm also a big fan of, like, Alakazam and Machamp.
Oh man, the champ used to be my favorite.
Yeah.
Back when I still played Silver.
You couldn't get him though
Crystal.
unless you traded, which is fucking
Yeah.
shitty.
And then he
Yes.
hates you.
He hates you.
I mean, like when you trade your Pokemon and then get him back to like level him up or evolve him,
Oh yeah.
he loses his trust with you. I think it's called. What is it called?
Love.
Love, hate,
It's like
happiness.
yeah, it's like a
It's
happiness
happiness,
thing,
yeah.
or like the IVs,
Mm-hmm.
EVs and IVs.
Mm-hmm.
How could you do this?
I mean, he's like, how'd you get me all buff and then take me back like this? You're playing with my emotions.
Where'd you send me to? Steroid camp?
Those would be like, if I had to pick like a roster of 6, they'd probably be all Gen 1, like just.
So I can suggest like a good emulator. It's called it's like a fan community made
Mhm.
mod. It's called a Pokemon Dark Rising.
Oh, you're
And
telling me about this.
Yeah, it's basically like a challenge for people to play. As far as like if you're used to being easy mode for Pokemon.
It's all easy mode.
Yeah.
Every game is easy mode.
Yeah.
And then like I think you can evolve them without having to trade them, which is
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
one of the
that's
big
nice.
things. Oh, I also played Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, which was a good spin-off, in my
Ooh,
opinion.
you played one I didn't play.
It was a good... I like the spin-off. I didn't play the newer ones, though. Oh, and Pokemon Ranger.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
You really
Flexing.
were a handheld boy.
Yeah, handheld boy.
So, Scheboii, what would be your favorite Pokemon?
You didn't say your. Oh no, you did Arcanine.
Arcanine?
And then
Yeah, Arcanine.
Rayquaza. Okay.
And then, yeah.
Fair enough.
My all-time fave?
You didn't get into like why though. You like Rayquaza
Yeah.
I mean,
Why?
just because he's
I
a
don't
big
know.
dragon.
It's a big green dragon. There's one that's like I have kind of a thing for like deer. If I knew what that, like, I know there's a legendary for one of them that's like a deer kind of Pokemon. looking
There's
thing.
the god Pokemon, which is pretty much a deer.
That thing, yeah.
Arceus.
I have no idea what it is or what it's about, but if I
It literally created the entire universe.
then that's probably if I knew more about it, then I might.
And it
be
can
more-
turn into every single type.
Be yeah.
So it's like
more
a Ditto mixed
more
with
inclined
God.
to say that just because of the
It
aesthetic.
literally
of it,
has the
but-
best stats. It can turn into any type. You give it like an item. You give it the water stone.
And a 10-year-old
it
can
turns
catch
to
it
water
like
type.
it's nothing.
You can just Master Ball. You got it. He's like, I created the universe, but damn, that's a really fucking cool Pokeball you got there.
Didn't know I would be creating this eventually.
Guess
But,
I'll just die.
He's obviously not like allowed in tournaments and stuff. He's stupid OP.
Talk about like
You can still take him to the Elite Four.
what's
and
it
be
called
like,
with
yeah, this
Yeah.
is- I rule now.
Nuz something?
You can't get him in game though.
Oh, you can't.
No.
Oh, I got a Game Shark. So
What's it
don't worry
called?
about
Nuz something. Nuz like when you-
Nuzlocke?
Nuzlocke. Imagine you killed fucking God.
That'd be you'd.
Nope.
Over.
Over.
Then yeah, everything would just cease to exist. It would just
Just ripples and
floating in
space
the
at time.
like
Just
the
In
in
Gen
Squidward
4,
with the-
for whatever reason, when they were going to
Future.
lore for all the Pokemon, it was like, you're God. You're like the master of time. You're the master of space. Like,
Yeah.
it got fucking crazy. And then, like, Gen 5, they're like, let's pedal it back. We can't really top that.
Yeah,
Let's
kinda.
make it simplified again.
Yeah, I guess big green dragon. I don't know.
I fuck with Rayquaza.
My sister and I,
Cool.
when we were younger, used to play do a lot of Pokemon because my sister was kind of into it too, and she's also a Gen 1 girl, and we would like do the little kid games of like Pokemon, like role playing as Pokemon trainers and stuff. And
I like how these aren't
yeah.
like based on stats or anything. Like our choices.
Yeah, well,
Based on,
it's
like,
just aesthetics. Or
for me, the games are more like collectathons than they are like strategy games. Like,
yeah, I get
Yeah,
that.
I can just keep hitting tackle. I'm not about to leer you.
yeah, I love watching like videos where they will like rank Pokemon or like literally like go down the list and be like, oh, this is why I don't like this one and I do like this one. I love those type of videos. But whenever they're like, oh, and he has like this attack and like this, I'm just like, I can't relate. Like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
Train it
I've never
different
been a
way.
man like he said. I don't leer. I'm just gonna go straight in for the zippy zap and
Hope
eat
for the
your
best.
ass.
Literally, I'm
Yeah.
such a shitty player. Like, the good players will get like the stat boost moves and like
Hell yeah.
these like combo things, and I'm just like, okay, what attacks do the most damage? I'll get 4 of those.
Exactly.
Boom.
Yep. Flamethrower and we're good.
Flamethrower, Thunderbolt,
That's what I
Surf.
said.
Let's just
Zippy zap and done.
Earthquake. That's all we're doing.
Oh
Yep.
my gosh. That's
What's
bringing
your
back memories.
What's on your team? The ones that can learn the most of those moves.
Yeah, there's actually, I did this one day just because I was thinking about it while we were at work, was this website where you can kind of put in your like roster of 6 and it'll show you like
The stats.
kind of, yeah, like, okay, you're like good for like this kind of type, but you're lacking in like, because like I put in my like roster of 6 and I think my roster was like Machamp, Arcanine, Alakazam, Audit, or like whatever the Gloom, Vileplume. I can't remember my other 2.
I mean, those
Blastoids and something else. And
That's like you. The ideal like team is like one that has like a mix of all the types, has like a bunch of attacks moves that will like counter certain things, and then at that point you go into like the meta game of like what's popular, what are they likely to have, and what are good counters for those, and then like it gets
Right.
pretty deep.
I was just doing it just for like pure, like, okay, like what if I
The 6 you like.
just, yeah, like where am I lacking with my choices and what could I be? I think Vileplume was actually like an alt to something that I had before. Like I think I might have had Onyx in there and I might have swapped the
Oh,
Onyx.
Onyx is garbage.
Swapped the Onyx. Like I'll give him a champ to
A
like
lot-
rock throw and then just throw.
I never understood how do you
Vileplume.
evolve Onyx?
Okay, so in Gen 2 they got like a little bit more creative with the things. It was like you give it an item and then trade it. So he turned into Steelix after you give him this like metal item.
Huh.
Or like maybe it was just level him up as he's holding an item. I just know he had an item.
Okay.
Alright, anyway, I've derailed for long enough, Scheboii.
Oh, is it my turn yet?
He still hasn't come up with one.
No, I do have it. My all-time favorite is going to be Ralts.
Ralt? Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mainly because I found it as like a
That's Gen 3.
kind of a satisfaction accomplishment to find him in the wild and catch
Okay.
him.
Do you
Because he's
want?
in such a small area.
Yeah. Let me break this down. In Gen 3, towards at every Pokemon game, there's a tutorial where they teach you how to catch a Pokemon. And in Gen 3, there's like this rival friend character you get, and he goes into this little area and he gets a Ralts, which is a more
Gardevoirs.
Okay.
Pretty
Which
good
is-
solution.
yeah, it's a more rare Pokemon like in this little sector.
Uh-huh.
So if you run around long enough in this one little sector, it takes a minute.
Like,
Bitch,
to
you
find.
can eventually get this cool like
He
psychic
looks
Pokemon
awesome.
from the
Turns
get
into
go.
He just
Gardevoir.
wants to.
And do you know he has an alternate evolution?
Yeah, if you find a male one, but
Yeah.
like, is that in Gen 3 or
No,
did
that's
they
in
add
Gen
it
4.
later?
I was
Okay.
gonna say that. I don't know.
But,
Mine was the Gardevoir.
The funny, you know how shiny Pokemon work, right?
Mhm.
There's like a 1 in 4,000 chance every wild Pokemon. There is a chance that the motherfucker who your rival can get a shiny Ralts, and you just gotta watch him catch it. And the whole rest of the
Really?
game, you just watch this motherfucker throw out his shiny Ralts, or shiny whatever the fuck it turns into.
Gardevoir.
And you're just like, that could have been mine! Fuck you!
Then
my
you just
God.
then you throw the Pokeball at him and steal it. and
Oh,
go-
like if that happened in
go-
real life, I would have just...
Guess you're dead.
Yep.
Rival.
Drop some money, get out of here.
I'm gonna have to call my connections with Team Rocket and they put me undercover for a while.
Team Rocket.
How about your favorite legendary?
Hmm.
If you got one.
Have to be Celebi.
Celebi? Okay.
Mainly
It's a good
because
one.
it was my first Pokemon movie I watched.
Suicune was also in that movie.
Yeah.
Not as cool though.
I think the other
Guilty
movie I
Fats.
watched was like Entei, and wasn't like
Yeah.
Entei with like the Mewtwo movie.
I think he was with the
Yeah, his own
Lugia
movie.
and-
He had his own movie with like the Unknown, if you know those.
Yeah, that was the
that
other
was
movie that I
Because
saw.
I remember going to
But
see that movie in the theaters.
I don't know,
Get the
Celebi was
unknown
just-
card from going to the movie.
Yeah.
He was adorable. He was he, whatever it was, genderless.
Chibi.
It's just living its life,
Celebi.
protecting the forest. And, like,
Can travel through time.
Yeah.
travel through time.
I like
I don't
Mew
know.
better than Celebi. But it's a mythical Pokemon, so you can't get it in game. So there's like this more established, like cool factor about it because of that.
Yeah, it was mainly like being the first movie I watched. I was like, oh, this is it. It's
Yeah.
my character. I've fallen in love.
I've seen the first 5 movies. After that, it just gets fucking.
Yeah, I've seen like 2, and then like I saw the very first Pokemon movie, and then the second one with the Entei and the Unknown, and then like that was it after that.
There's that one meme where it was like Ash just didn't care about Pokemon battles and just tried to rock Mewtwo.
Oh yeah, where he just tries to fucking punch that motherfucker.
Yeah.
At that point, he's like literally like imagine if these are actually like your best friends though. And this motherfucker just snatches them. He's like, "Yep, you guys suck. You're not good.
did see-
wrecked. These
there
are
was
mine
a-
now."
I don't know which like when the movie comes in, but there was that like the Return of Mewtwo movie.
I saw that too. Yeah.
I probably still have that on DVD or VHS somewhere. My parents does because I remember seeing
There's
that.
an amazing meme in that movie. There's a character named Brock, who I'm sure you guys are familiar with. And they're like literally, this is like one of those weird things like in the dub, they'll just change things and it'll like be super funny. Like in the first movie, they reference the Minnesota Vikings. They're like, Team Rocket is dressed up as Vikings and they're in like this boat ride. And one of the characters is like, I thought the Vikings went extinct. And then Ash is like, it's because they mostly live in Minnesota. And then, like, despite being a kid in Minnesota, I still didn't get that joke. Where was I going with that?
The joke, the amazing meme.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they're appealing to an audience that is not watching Pokemon.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
the
exactly.
adults that have
They're
No,
like,
the people that watch football are not going to be watching Pokemon.
Yeah, the kids, the adults.
There's a
that
couple
watch the
parents who
kids.
got dragged to that movie theater.
Oh, yeah.
Almost definitely.
Who finally were just like, fuck y'all.
But in that movie, they're like in the rain, and then Brock is holding like a frying pan, and he puts it over his head,
Yeah.
and he's like, I'm gonna use this frying pan as a drying pan.
I remember that.
There's so much funny shit in that anime. Like, there's a point where they're like eating rice balls because it's Japan, and they're like, nothing better than a jelly-filled donut. And they literally like say it like 3 times. They're like, "Can I have a donut, Brock?"
They had to have known what they were doing.
At least draw like a fucking. It's not hard. Just draw a fucking donut over his hand, so it's not a fucking rice ball. Like some kid in America is just gonna be like, "What the fuck's a rice ball? I can't watch this show anymore."
Damn
Turn off their
communists.
TV. Like, I can't watch this anymore. But I think we exhausted the Pokemon argument.
Yeah. For 30 minutes, he's like, "Oh, this is gonna take up the rest of the last hour." Nope.
I mean, I could go on. You guys are just slacking.
I don't have anything to add really. I'm not that huge. I'm not that big into Pokemon. I don't think he is either. Obviously.
When Sword and Shield
Damn.
come out, I'm getting.
I'm still
first
debating on
video.
whether or not I'm gonna get Sword and Shield.
I'll
Just
fucking
mostly
buy you a copy if you fucking play with me. That's smart. Perfect. That's it. You showed me the drying pan meme.
just because like I'll wait to see what the reviews are and then we'll go from there. But
They're gonna be the same as. It's gonna be the same review as all of them. Is it?
now we're just exchanging memes
Yeah.
here.
Anyway.
Memes, Civil War.
Did you
If
want to
only
draw
we go
the bouquet again?
Yeah, we
This
could draw
deep
the
into
bullets.
editing to pop up what we're showing each other.
They shook
Have
the
at it.
bucket for me. Shake it
Oh,
away.
We gotta add some more shit in here, man.
We
It's
do.
getting- It's
Running
getting
out of
late.
topics. All right, what do we got?
I feel like this is gonna be mine.
Oh.
Which one is it?
No.
I don't know if I want to do that one right
Yes,
now.
we gotta do it.
That's
We
gonna-
gotta
Oh
do it.
yes, we're just pulling my topics. Okay. Should I we didn't do this last time, so we gotta do it now.
We were waiting for our boss to come on the show so we could talk about this, but
Alright.
it's fine.
Should I go into like the backstory before this?
Well, there's a backstory.
There's
Yeah,
a
I was gonna
backstory.
say, is
Okay.
there a
There's
So,
definitely a back entrance.
Oh, too soon.
so one of my philosophies on life are if you're not hurting anybody, then you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Oof. I already
Oof.
see this.
Yeah, I know where this is going.
But there was a YouTuber I followed who like kind of got blasted for like being in defense of lolicon porn. And lolicon porn is basically a lolicon. It shows up in anime. It's basically a character that is either like a little girl or like drawn to be like a little girl. Sometimes they're like, oh no, I'm like 1,000 years old for whatever reason. I'm just stuck in this child body. And he went into more like
Wait.
deeper shit of.
To be specific, is lolly like sexualized girl?
No, it's just a little girl, but like lolicon, like if there's porn out there of it, it's obviously.
Yeah, lolicon is definitely.
I thought lolly
Porn
meant he was
thing.
it was specifically sexualizing it.
Lolicon is obviously porn, but if you're just a lolly in an anime, like fucking Sailor Moon could be a lolly. Or something like that.
I guess so.
At least that's the terminology I've heard in my circles.
Right.
I'm not really out here looking at this type of shit. It's just shit that I went on just a really.
open up.
Yeah.
Oh shit! They're after me.
Open up.
But basically, he like went into the fence that like they're drawings. They're not offensive. There's not a victim, and like that, he got like obviously blasted. Like, oh, you're a fucking rapist. You're a fucking pedophile, for for obvious reasons. And like he went on to like this show where someone was obviously against it, and by the end of it, like he kind of convinced them like, they're obviously drawn this type of way. And that's obviously a fetish for people, but like for people who are like, let's just say they're not hurting anybody, like why do you give a shit? If it's a victimless crime, and let's say you are a fucking weirdo pedophile and you need to like get off to some, is this not like the better way of doing it?
I'm gonna hit you with this.
Get off with.
So, I get one of my close friends growing up.
Basically, we're arguing about are drawings of little girls something to be censored on the internet, and are they morally?
Well, generally speaking, I'll say this before I start my little point, is that in Japan it's kind of more accepted. Like this is, like you can catch dudes like reading lolly hentai on the subway, like in Japan. Like this is, I've seen pictures of this. Like this is not like it's more accepted over there. Not in like a it's okay to touch little kids kind of way, but like it's okay to
and
like
the age what is it called is different.
Age of consent.
Age of consent is different.
right, yeah.
So
really
there's
like
there's
16.
obviously some dudes over there who are more likely to be pedophiles.
Well, yeah, I guess so. I don't know anything about that, but like it's just more, I guess, lolly is more accepted over there than it is taboo over here. But I have a friend of mine that I've known for a very, very long time who I know is kind of a in the closet, like lolicon kind of guy. Like I've never asked him about it. I don't want to ask him about it. It's not Scheboii. Like I don't want to know, but he's like made references to things that I'm just kind of like, okay, like.
Let's
Closeted.
Like I know. Like I said, he's probably not closeted like in his circles that he runs in, but like he has never mentioned it to me. I've never asked him about it. I don't want to know. We'll keep that in the dark for each other, because for all the weird shit that he's into, I'm sure I'm into some equally weird shit. But anyway, I digress to my original point.
Thus, I don't want to know.
The
Kitchen Bitches After Dark.
Yeah, the last half hour of the
Pay to
show,
enter.
Kitchen Bitches After Dark. What'd you just say?
Pay to enter.
Oh, okay. I thought you said something else. I was like, what?
What did you think I
I
said?
thought you said a name.
No. What?
That's why I was like, what? I was like,
He's twitchy right now. He's in a vulnerable state.
Especially talking about someone he doesn't want to oust out.
yeah.
To the
You
FBI.
got close to his favorite porn star right there or something.
At least I am. This isn't the beach. This
that's-
is the bathtub.
No, that's not mine, friend. That would be yours.
No,
Oh, dude.
not anymore.
Oh, he's changed his mind in
Not
a few
anymore.
days.
Oh shit.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Another
okay.
Just
topic
because she's
for
old
another
now, you fucking asshole. I
Because
guess
she's
I
no
did.
longer in it.
Yeah, she's irrelevant.
She's irrelevant. I can't keep jerking off to the old stuff. I need
Like,
something new.
yeah.
Something fresh.
Can't jerk off to 40K or 480p.
Oh, I'll jerk off to 40K.
40.
He started saying it. No.
40K Warhammer.
For the Emperor.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, you know, one of the ways.
If you're editing this, you got a lot of shit to cut out in this
Yep.
one.
Yeah, it's all staying in. My girlfriend watches with me.
Nice.
Yeah,
Felt like you were going somewhere. We kind of derailed you. Sorry.
Anyways.
I kind of.
So what about him
It's
and
a
his
funny
childhood?
It's nothing about him, but just this kind of being against the lolicon and that stuff is because I know, like, a sibling of a friend who is an artist, graphic artist, who has drawn lolicon, essentially. I guess it would be technically Shota because it's young boys instead of young girls.
So, you know terminology. I don't.
Damn.
Well, I know. See,
Secret
fuck,
weeaboo over here.
a certain
So some
Vietnamese
Boku no
cartoon.
Pico type shit.
A certain
Okay, you're
Vietnamese.
just throwing more.
That's like this
words.
huge anime thing. It's,
Yeah, I don't
it's
know
a
what you
meme.
just said, but a certain
I'll tell you again,
Cantonese image board, or I guess a Cantonese knitting board, will teach you a lot of things about a lot of stuff you didn't want to know about.
Tumblr.
But anyway, no. This person's sibling does this graphic art and has been contracted several times by a private person to draw them young boy with older man. And I've seen, you know, it hasn't come up recently, but in the past, like, maybe last 2017, like, maybe 2018, like, the big pedophile argument started to come into play of, like, what should we do with these people? Like, because a lot of people were advocating, saying, like, oh, pedophilia is not something to be ashamed of. It's a mental illness that we need to help treat.
Yeah.
And by doing things like allowing them to have these drawings and comics, or, like, even, like, underage sex toys,
Yeah.
that it kind of helps to curb
I
these
don't know what those
urges.
are.
They don't exist. What I'm just saying, like, that people were trying, like, wanting to help these people by giving them tools to kind of help curb
but then-
the urges.
Then they went from it's a mental disease to just it's a sexual orientation.
Exactly.
to
That's
where-
kind of the slippery slope with this, and why I'm saying, like, we should just, like, this is probably not a good idea of a thing
Yeah.
to go down because
Because child pornography is obviously illegal for obvious reasons.
right.
And this is very obviously borderline, but it's like, it's not technically underage if it doesn't exist. It's a drawing. Like,
Right.
violent video games are not cute, like, that's not actual violence. Reality and fiction are two separate lanes, but, like, at what point is it like, okay, you're obviously getting something from this. You're obviously, like, a pedophile. We should obviously, like, because I personally, like, if you're child predator, I don't give a shit if you get the death penalty.
Firing squad.
Yeah, like,
All
I
the
don't.
way.
At that point, you're not fucking human to me. If you went, like, on, like, a 60-year journey and you, like, fucking did all these things after that, cool. I still kind of hate you.
Yeah. Firing
But,
squad all the way to people like that.
I think it like especially like it's what you do with your
Mhm.
urges.
Yeah.
Like if you're a pedophile and you don't do anything, good.
Yeah.
Keep not
That's-
doing
that's
anything.
kinda
Yeah.
like.
But if as soon as you diddle that one kid,
It's done.
off
Yeah,
the
exactly.
cliff.
Oof.
Or if you even, like, attempt, like, I
Right.
don't give a shit.
Yeah.
The point that I was making.
As soon as you start like looking at kids and just start touching your nipple, nope,
Mm.
off the cliff. Goodbye.
That's where this
Yeah.
like came such a big like
You hugged your
mind
son
fuck
for
for me
more than
because it
3
was like
seconds. Off
two
the cliff.
philosophies that I'm like, you know, very strong against, obviously clashing. Where I'm like, obviously if you're a child predator,
Art,
you should
but
die.
then it's child.
But then it's like, okay, but if you're not harming anybody, that completely falls on this
Well-
other thing.
Well,
I
the
got.
thing is with that is like this kind of slippery slope idea of like, okay, normally if these people if they knew they were, obviously, you know, if you're attracted to children and whatnot, but you don't have an outlet, so you kind of repress all these feelings. You might not act on them, you might think it, but you don't have any kind of outlets. And as soon as you start giving these people like outlets, like the drawing and the community and like, you know, one thing leads to another. Like, when is the drawings and the fantasy not going to be enough, and they need to act on those instead of just.
From what I see, actually, like, there actually are plenty of outlets, in the sense, like, obviously there's therapy and there's other help like camps and stuff like that, but these same groups that are
can't touch
shut up, that like say like there aren't outlets, let's make outlets like this Lolicon stuff, and let these child sex toy things. They're trying to show like let's make these the outlets, and let's say that these other outlets aren't really outlets. They're just these horrible places, and there's these horrible things. Like honestly, like probably going to the gym is like a better outlet than
committing suicide is probably the best outlet.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
But like a lot of weird fetishes
I feel
come
like
from
they're
weird
just trying
places. For like
well, it's all developed being the semi-psych major here, I'd say that a lot of this stuff is developed in early age, so it's...
Yeah, you were attracted to little girls when you were a little boy, and then for whatever reason you didn't evolve past that like everybody does.
Yeah, it's kind of... It's very... I don't remember any of the talk of, like, pedophilia from my psych courses, but, like, it's very interesting to, like, delve into the human psyche when it comes to, like sexual things.
Like,
for me it is, anyway.
Like with video games, like there's obviously has been no correlation between video games and violence. But there has been a statistic, not with pedophiles, but with gay people, about 70% of gay people have had some sexual trauma growing up.
Right.
Whether it be abuse or just
having,
pedophilia.
A gay uncle that they had a relationship with.
Or a babysitter, or, older brother even. Like, it gets dark, man.
There might be a correlation, might not be. Might be totally two separate things, but I think it's... Like, the slippery slope argument doesn't apply to video games, but it might apply to Lolicon.
Well, like, slippery slope is kind of a fallacy to begin with.
Yeah. I think, to kind of hit home on this argument, like, what do you think should be done? Where does the line get drawn? I can start. Like, I specifically think, like, obviously it should not be marketedized. It should not be on, like, any popular website. It should not be, like, made to be a thing. Like, if you're, like, a Patreon artist type thing, like, that's kind of, like, where a big thing, like, a guy was, like, selling his shit, like, through Patreon. If Patreon decides you're not going to be on their site, I have no problem with that. And I think that's what happened. And I'm not upset about that. Some people are like, oh, that's censorship. I was like, no, that's Patreon protecting their brand, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
If you're, like, a dude who, like, if you, like, know a couple people in your close circles, and, like, you're, like, looking at it on your own through the internet or whatever, I can't necessarily fault you, because, again, you're not hurting anybody, but, like, if you're not doing anything else to help this, and you're actually attracted to kids and you don't care about that, then I obviously hate you. You're fucking scum. I don't give a shit if you get censored. But, like, if you're someone who's, like, struggling and is mentally challenged or whatever is wrong with you, then, like, I hope you follow the right path. I don't really care enough to do something about it. If you're looking at actual child pornography, then you can die.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's about where I'm at.
I'd say, I think that's pretty good. I think a bullet's the... Do yourself in, or we'll do it for you.
Well, I don't know, like, if you guys feel
caveat to this is that there
some people are like,
if
you draw that at all, just burn it. Like, I'm sure plenty of people feel that way.
I don't know.
Because a lot of people would argue, like, what if I want to see that 100-year-old character from that anime? And I would be like, okay, well, it still looks 14, or it still looks whatever age, and then I would be like, okay, fucking Belle from Beauty and the Beast is like 17, 18, but she looks fucking 30. Like, where do we draw the line? Yeah. Like, on what this character's age actually is and what it looks like.
Right.
So, yeah.
I mean, there are people that are, like, 22 or 23 that look like they're like 13.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there's 14-year-olds who look like they're 22. And
Milk. Steroids.
it's a trap.
Steroids in the milk. It's a trap.
It's a different kind of trap.
Jailbait.
Oh god. Yeah, I think I'm right there with what Soul has to say.
Yeah. I would say, yeah, it is a victimless crime, but it's still like a...
Yeah, it's still like maybe you should consider.
Yeah. I think we were able to challenge our
Should
psyches a little bit,
consider
which
that
is
as your option.
more the point of the conversation.
Well, we've got almost 15 minutes left. Do we draw from the bucket one more time? See if we
Is
can
2 hours
one?
normally are?
Yeah,
I guess
2
that's
hours.
just our thing. 2 hours.
Yeah, it started out. We'll delve.
I mean,
pull out a quick one.
Maybe as a listener, like, that might not be ideal, but for, like...
If we upload every other week, you have like, here, let me just take this 30
That's
minutes,
too long.
just pause at this
Yeah.
interval.
Yeah, I mean that's the way.
Like, as a listener, that might not be your thing, but as a person recording this, like, this is ideal for me. It's 2
What
hours.
the fuck that is?
Man, you can't... You're not even gonna share them.
You
just gonna...
can't just
This-
draw it.
Yeah,
and put
this
it back.
man's
You have-
breaking all the rules over here while
We've
we're
done
not
this
looking.
before.
I don't feel
Then
like
throw
we
it to the
have.
ground if we've done it before.
No, I
'Cause
mean
we
it's-
haven't.
It's the.
Oh, he pulling him
He's
out and putting
pulling
him
out,
out.
I'm
like,
looking
oh,
at-
I mean, yeah, okay.
I'm
we've done
trying to find something that's like gonna be a quick one. I don't know if any of these in the
Our
bucket
last
are
one
gonna-
was like, or the one I'm editing is like 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
You stopped drawing.
He's giving
Oh yeah. I was like, maybe we could just come up with something like. Off the cuff.
Come on, I got some good ones in there.
I mean, I can come up with some off the cuff. I thought we were just into this.
Let's see, alright, I'll grab this one here at the top. It's like, Trump gonna win? Question mark.
Okay.
There you
I know
go.
I didn't write that.
Easily.
that was him.
Easy.
Okay.
That
So,
was me.
He says Yeezy.
Easy.
2020 election time. We should have saved this when it was actually more searchable, but let's do it now. Is
The pedophile election 2020.
this is a
Halloween
great
pedophile
episode.
election.
Gambino
The Halloween pedophile Pokemon episode. And a 2020 election, all in one, baby. We got it all in this episode.
Yep.
Pedophile ghost running for president.
At this point, we should just upload these in 30-minute chunks of each topic.
Yeah, why not?
But
no, let's not do that. That would suck.
I assume you wrote this, Scheboii.
Yeah. I mean, I
He just
figured
says
like
yes.
by the 5th
Next.
episode we'd have a lot more political oriented discussions, but it seems every time one of us brings it up, the other person cringes, especially Scheboii.
What? I cringe.
Yeah, you cringe a lot. You're like, oh god, oh we're talking about
Well,
this.
just because I know it's like a hot topic and like
I
everyone's
don't do that. I'm just kind of like whatever.
Everyone's
but-
got an opinion, and
Yeah.
I don't think that his is the
Everyone's
right
got
one.
an asshole.
Uh,
What you want?
Can we do like that debate thing we did where one of us is a referee?
Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun.
I'll be the referee since I don't have a fucking opinion.
Well, him and I are kind of on the same. Like, I don't know.
Let's just get it out there. Let's just put it on the books. Let's put out your political opinion. Who do you think's gonna win? Why do you want your fucking ugly motherfucker to win?
Do I want Trump to win? Yes. Do I want it to be Trump? No, but
Okay. But you don't think there's gonna be a
There's-
candidate on the left?
the
Who's
best
gonna-
they have, in my opinion, is Joe Biden.
Joe Biden.
Yeah, Joe Biden's gonna be the golden goose. For
Unfortunately,
Literally,
I mean,
your
he's a
favorite
blank
dude is the
slate.
guy
the
on-
milk toast, old white man.
he's the female version
is-
of Hillary.
Yeah, is
Blank
like,
slate, and I'll say whatever
honestly,
you
I
want me to say.
believe had Joe Biden run against
Why do you
Trump
not like Bernie?
in 2018 or whenever 2016 would have lost. Trump would have lost, and Joe Biden would have won, and hands down.
Yeah, I could have said. Yeah.
But the Bernie Trump, like let's do that one.
Ooh.
Now I'll be the ref for this one because I know Solo's a
I'm not
Bernie
gonna have
kind of
fun.
guy.
I'm not gonna have. I mean, I voted for Bernie, but I don't have like that big
Oh,
of an opinion.
God.
Queer.
Nah.
I will remind you, the candidates were fucking Trump, Hillary, and Bernie, and I was like, man, I don't like any of
What
these
about
motherfuckers.
Gary? What was his name? Mr. Libertarian.
I assume he was out
Rand
by
Paul?
that time.
No, not
Gary
Rand Paul.
Johnson?
Yeah, that was. I was gonna call him Gary.
Come on, Gary, it's a race.
The fact that I don't remember him probably proves that he was.
Yeah.
not
What about
high on
Jill
my
Stein
list.
from the Green
What
Party?
is Aleppo? Yeah, and that was a good time. 2016 was a wild year, man.
Well,
And what is Aleppo?
I mean, I just look at the whole, like, I
Excuse
guess,
me.
I don't know what Aleppo, what are you talking about?
That was a meme. So, like, back when it was getting kind of close, like, all the candidates had been decided for the Republican, like, it was obviously going to be Trump, it was obviously going to be Hillary, and it was obviously going to be Gary Johnson were going to be, like, your 3 votes.
Wasn't Trump not even like fully Republican until like they had to have one? And before that he was like, I'm fucking.
He didn't care.
He's
he
like,
just didn't want- he was just an old.
He's
He
like,
wasn't
I'm an
political.
independent, but I'll be Republican when you.
He was just an old boomer man and saw an opening and was like, "Oh, go ahead and try. We'll see what happens. If they don't want me, they
Fuck
don't want me. Let's see what happens."
Then he did,
But-
and he's just like, shit, I gotta do this.
Have you guys seen that bit where Obama is trying to slay him during like one of the
Yeah, the
things
late
that he-
night thing. He's
he's like
Obama
makes-
will go down as the worst president in the history of the United States. And then Obama looks up and says, "Well, Mr. Trump, at least I will go down as a president of the United States." And it kind of
And
zooms
then-
out as it's like, your first new president of the United States, Donald J. Trump, and then
doesn't
Fucking
he
got him.
Isn't there like a little bit during the ceremony where he becomes president where he has to like acknowledge him though?
Yep.
Think what was going through his mind during that. He's like this.
Even the letter, Obama had it, because it's usually tradition for United States presidents to leave their successor a letter in the Oval Office desk, their first day in office.
So his letter was like, "Don't fuck it up" or something.
I don't know. Like, I just wish I could get my hands on that letter to read what it said.
I know that they also had like a
God.
private dinner like towards the beginning.
Yeah, I don't know much about that. But what I'll go back to the Aleppo thing real quick here, because when Gary Johnson had been like decided.
Technical difficulties suck.
Oh,
anyway.
God. My fault.
Aleppo.
Yeah, so he was given it was like Syria was the hot topic at the time. Everyone was like, what are we going to do about Syria? What are we going to do about Syria? And Aleppo is the capital of Syria, I believe. I could be wrong. I know I'll probably get corrected in the comments. But
What, 3
yeah,
people
the
that
one
watch him?
comment, someone will know and they'll be like, it's not Aleppo, it's actually bleh. But Aleppo was a highly contested area in Syria, and a news anchor on one of these NBC, CBS asked him, like, what will you do about Aleppo? And Gary Johnson kind of looks at him and goes, what is Aleppo? And the anchor kind of looks at him confused back and was like, what? And asked him, like, he asked him, are you serious? And Gary Johnson goes, I'm very serious.
I have not
He just had no
heard
idea.
of that.
It
I have to
is
watch
pretty
that.
funny. I
That
mean, there's a
sounds
whole,
hilarious.
like, slew of...
But
like,
isn't that the libertarian way? It's just like, fuck everything else.
libertarian
going on.
memes? Like, I remember, like, the libertarian like, every political party has their little, like, convention to, like, announce who they're going to pick as their official running candidate is going to be. And at the libertarian one, like, they did it down, like, Miami, Florida, and the guy who was, like, hosting it, like, stripped down to his boxers and just started running around on stage. Like, what a fucking joke
Yeah.
of a party.
This man is playing Pokemon Go. He does not care.
He just, this is
boring him.
I play Pokemon Go during every episode. Thank you very much.
no phones, all phones off.
All phones off.
This motherfucker was on his phone like for 30 minutes
Oh,
at
I
one
know.
point.
I see
I'm
him over
listening.
there, Snapchat
I'm
away.
contributing.
Was that your final point?
That was it.
That
The
was the
Aleppo
meme?
thing.
I don't know. Like, is he gonna win? I'm pretty sure he will.
Yeah, I mean, usually,
'Cause it's just
historically
like-
speaking, yes, presidents usually have about a 95% chance of winning.
I mean,
Plus, like,
A
I
real
feel like
election.
it's literally the exact same situation as 4 years ago.
and like,
I don't know, man. We'll
it's
see.
either. Because I just hate that they're just defaulting
What
to, like,
has
Trump
changed?
disagrees with this, or Trump agrees with this, we gotta disagree with it. If Trump agrees with it, we disagree. If he
That's kind of how
disagrees,
they're,
we
like,
agree.
some Republican Party
Like-
leaders are doing that. Like, I've seen, like, I think that 3 states are, like, changing their presidential nominee from Trump to someone else. It was, like, Nevada,
Yeah.
like, New Mexico, and, like, one other state, Colorado, maybe.
There are people that on the Republican side throwing their hat in the ring, but
They can try, but at the end of the day, like, it's just kind of a waste of time and money for them, and just to be like, look, I tried to stand up to them for their constituency, but is it going to make any difference? Like, oh, they're going to walk up to him and be, oh, well, at least you pat him on the back and be, at least you tried.
you're gonna still have that group of people that are like, well, he's Republican, gotta vote for it.
Didn't he lose the popular vote though?
He lost the
So
popular vote.
He
it
did,
is
yes.
possible that like just the votes going in like the right direction But we all know Russia had the hand in.
It's happened.
Don't even fucking start.
No.
So don't start.
Good.
It's only happened 5 times in America's history. And the first time it happened, Abraham Lincoln.
Talking
Yeah.
about the popular vote then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where
Oh,
you
I
lose
didn't
the
know
popular
that.
vote but win the general.
Yeah.
I didn't know
that's
that.
right, yeah.
Fun facts.
First
I
president.
know it happened with Bush.
Yep.
That's the only
Yeah,
one
Bush.
I can think of offhand.
Al Gore.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like polling is a very interesting thing always.
Because they're always wrong.
Usually, yes.
Political polling.
I mean, every time I've been to vote, I was like, this is not as like hard as it needs to be. Like people literally can like show up with like dead people's IDs and all these things.
Yeah, well, that's why like I was all for like voter ID laws, and everyone's like, "This is a fascist state of government to have an ID to go to vote," and I'm like, "Fuck you, it is."
Yeah.
You need an ID to like do so much in the world, regardless. Like even your social security number, you have that when you are born.
Yeah.
You just have your social security number.
But I don't know how like with the internet we have it like locked down. Like we can find every fucking person if we need to. But for some reason, the part when we all need to fucking vote, it's like a fucking chaotic fest.
Yeah. There's apparently like 3 million extra people that are
Like-
dead voting.
Yeah, and just
of
have,
course.
I would say like have it open also for like a week, so like everyone has time to vote. But like, what
One
could
day.
happen in a week?
1 day or early
Who's,
voting. That's all
like-
you get.
Yeah.
What kind of would I think that is kind of fucked up? But like, how in a week time, how are they gonna fuck it up?
The way that they should do it is they should do like maybe, I don't know, 2 day, like I don't know. I don't know about early voting. Maybe we
Everyone should
just,
be
like,
off that day.
We should just be like, fuck early voting.
I think
no
that
more
should be
early
our
All the
voting.
hospital,
Oh.
fire stations,
Yeah,
police, everyone's off.
everyone get off, or at least
No,
everyone will get-
a 2 day period.
Everyone will get like a chance to vote on this one day.
Your
And then-
half
should
of the
be a
staff
weekend.
should be off this day.
Yeah,
and half-
weekend. I don't know. Like what I think they should do is like a month before the election, maybe then that, or maybe like 2 weeks before
A
the election.
weekend
They should
and
announce
people
what
can-
day the election's gonna be.
And people
on.
can pre-vote in the mail
Yeah.
or something like that.
Sure, if they want to allow that shenanigans to take place, but they should like.
I mean,
just-
it'd be like you take their social security number. That's it. If they try to vote again, obviously that doesn't go through.
Well,
But I don't know if they like have enough time to look at these 50 million votes and like check every fucking dot. It's hard.
it is. Yeah.
like when I went to vote, they're like, "Oh, what's your name?" I said my name, and she literally like, there's an open book in front of her, and she just scrolls down and just finds my name. It's like, "Oh, okay, go vote." Like,
Yeah, they when I
just
go to
checks
mine,
it off.
they
Like,
ask me.
I
"What's
can
your
literally
name?"
read any of these names and vote here.
I didn't even have that.
No,
I don't remember.
she just had an open book with all the names and all the addresses that.
Yeah.
I literally
You
just
would
remember
enter
being
a
like,
district.
"Here's my ID," and they're like, "Okay, you're good."
Yeah, I just show my ID. I think.
Nope, I didn't.
Tisk tisk.
Tisk, voter IDs.
I agree, 100%. I remember I used to listen to a lot of conservative talk radio, and there was this old like Vietnam vet boomer on there who was like, I don't know what kind of idiot wants me to have an ID to go vote. Like he didn't get the whole like illegal immigrant voting or like the multiple votes from like just like taking people from like one district and then like busing them to another and being like, yeah, we came here to vote, and giving just like bullshit names or whatever. Like he'd never heard of this. Like, I don't know, how could it conceive such
Especially
an
with
idea?
the internet, because you can just look up the person, be like, "Oh, this is her or his address," because they'll have it on their Facebook,
Yeah,
and you just go to that district that they're in and go vote.
it was funny, just the way that this old guy, this boomer, was like, I can't believe what kind of idiot doesn't want me to
That's the
vote.
big,
I'm an American veteran.
Stereotype: the conservatives are
We just put the
not dynamic enough.
the
with
president we
changing
want in
of
the hat, and then they
political ties.
count up all the things in the hat, right?
We just draw
Ridiculous.
like 5. Best of 5 wins.
Yeah.
Increase your odds.
And I
by
know
voting
people are
more.
they're trying to do away with the whole electoral college system, which is kind of, I get why the electoral college is kind of flawed. I agree to an extent, but like,
Without the electoral college, the slavery
I mean-
would not be abolished.
well,
In the time it did.
But
Don't worry about it.
don't. I mean, you guys care. I don't give a shit. Where was I going? I mean, the popular vote isn't fucking good or perfect either. The fact that
No,
my
definitely
vote
not.
counts just as much as Scheboii here is kind of ridiculous. The fact that he knows obviously more.
Okay.
You both obviously know more.
I was like,
But my vote counts just as much as his. A seasoned fucking guy who knows his shit, studies as much. A fucking 18-year-old who thinks, who doesn't like Obama because he's black can count. That was the only one I could base off of complete
Right.
nothingness.
I think the voting age should be raised to, 21?
I mean, I think it should be par for drinking.
Yeah.
In my mind.
I think whatever age you're legally an adult, you should be able to do as much as an adult can do.
Yeah.
There should not be like 18,
Tiers.
you get to vote and smoke. 21, you get to drink. 25, you get to rent a car.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm going into the military, I should be able to do these other
Yeah,
things.
and smoking is just as harmful as drinking.
And renting a car.
Yeah. I mean, statistics, yeah. Driving is...
I mean, should driving be 16 though? Should it be 18?
I think driving should be 16. I
So
mean, it's not really an adult.
Thing to do.
It's not necessarily an adult thing
Yeah.
by our
Yeah,
current societal standards.
yeah.
Because kids go to class, they have work.
I mean,
then
yeah,
you'd
you
be an adult at 16, maybe. But then, I don't want to
No.
decrease the voting age to 16.
That would be horrible.
You're talking about
Disastrous
people in
results.
10th grade
You
that
just see
that are
fucking
eating
Birdie
Tide
at a high
Pods.
school just, alright kids!
Who wants their college paid for?
Yeah.
Who wants high school
That
paid
would
for?
be disastrous
Oh
results.
god,
right
that
there.
would be hilarious though.
Yeah, I guess
No
Guys,
more
what's
colleges,
this Tide
just high
Pod
school.
challenge? What's
driving,
going on?
like, I don't know where, I guess
Bernie
you guys
just
took
takes
your
one.
driving test.
Hillary's like, Pokemon go to the polls. Why don't we Pokemon go from this high school to the pole on this bus straight away?
Like, I don't know where you got, I guess you guys took your driving test where we are currently at now in
Yep.
the state.
Mm.
But, like, when I took mine, I was 18 years old. And it was probably I was expecting it from what I had been told by other people who had their license. It was going to be like, you're going to have to merge on a 6-lane highway on one end to the other.
No.
And, like, it's going to be horrible. And, whoops.
Yeah.
I just pulled that out of his ear. And then, but like here for me, all I had to do was like, okay, you're gonna pull out of the DMV, you're gonna turn left, you're gonna turn right into this little like suburban neighborhood,
Yep, that's what I did.
do a K turn.
No,
all right,
it,
you're good.
it literally
boy.
was like one big lap.
Take K turn.
Despite
Yeah,
that though, I did
Mhm.
fail the first
Oh, a
time.
3-way turn.
Yeah.
I did fail my first test.
Oof.
But and it was actually really sketchy.
And how did you fail? That's an interesting topic.
So when we were like backing up or something, he wanted me to do like the complete overhand where I put like my hand on the back of his
okay.
thing. He didn't like that I did that, and he didn't. I stopped at the stop sign, but he's like, I didn't, or she, I should say, was like, I didn't like how you stopped at that stop sign. Like I apparently stopped and then like edge and then did it, and she's like, no, you have to come to a complete stop.
Yeah, just 3 seconds.
Yeah, something like that. I
That's
was
what they
like.
say.
I was like, oh, my bad. And she was just like very casual about it, like, yep, not today, buddy. And I was like, and the sad thing about that was I needed because my mom's license was like in a weird sketchy place, and I needed my grandfather's license to be like my like +1 adult or whatever, right? And he had dementia, and his license was about to expire. So if I didn't pass the second time, I was fucked. So that you can imagine the pressure in that car.
They can, apparently that's my mom says, like, oh, they can sense how stressed you are and they'll fail you on that. I'm like, what? No. Mine was super easy.
I'm stressed every time I'm in the fucking car.
Because the guy I got passed both my sister and my dad when he renewed his license. So, like, he was like, oh, third person now. Third time's the charm.
My sister literally could not get the hang of it. It took her a bunch of tries, and eventually my dad just went in there and yelled at them. They're like, okay, we'll do it again. And then they passed her. Which really happens at any job. You can just yell your way through, and eventually you get results.
Huh, I'm surprised.
Government
If you want free food, just
bureaucracy, I
yell.
guess, so,
Just
yeah.
yell at the people. They'll give you the free food.
I think the guy that I got was pretty stoic, and then finally when we like pulled back in the DMV, he just kind of handed me the paper. He says, "All right, I'll see you inside. Take this to the lady at the counter." And it was like, you're good. It's like, all right, sweet.
Did you have a permit beforehand?
Yeah, I had my permit for like 6
That
months.
might be more
maybe.
lenient if you have like you did all the steps.
I
up
was
to that
I
license.
was
probably
older
true.
That's what I
because
did.
I was older. Like I passed my permit. Like on
Did
my
you do the
first
computer
try.
test too?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. The computer test is where most people just fail, and then.
Yeah, I did. I remember doing my permit test on the computer the first time. Like I passed it the first time. But like I remember like kind of trying to study like just a little bit before it, and then I was like, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. Eventually, it's just like, okay, you've done enough. You passed. I had my maybe like 4 or 5 months, and then I went and took the actual driving test. And
Did you guys have to have that log?
Yep, I had the log where.
It's like 60 hours.
Yep.
no, because I was 18. I
Fudged
didn't
the
have
whole
to.
fucking thing.
Yeah.
I handed mine in and was like, oh, you guys actually did it, and just threw it away.
Yeah, I had like a bunch of, I had like like when we were fudging it up, I had like different pens, so it looked like we wrote it at different
Yep.
times. Because when you get your permit, they give you your permit, and then they want you to drive a certain amount of time, and yada yada yada. So they give you a sheet that someone has to sign or whatever. All fudged.
Yep.
Obviously, they don't give a shit. But the reason I couldn't really drive at the time was, again, I was like living in Minnesota at the time, near a city, and like didn't have reason to drive. So like I was like, fuck that. Fuck all that.
Yeah, I didn't. That's why I didn't get mine until I was 18. I just didn't have anywhere to go. I was pretty comfy where I was at. Didn't have it. If I need to go anywhere, like I just, all right, I'm going to the store, cool.
We
MBD,
totally
man.
derailed from the original topic.
We did.
Nobody else
I
gave their
thought-
opinion on whether he was going to win or not. Either way.
Possibly.
He's the
I
best.
don't want him to. I think it's kind of the same situation as before. Like, I think
Don't want him to.
obviously don't want him to. Very possible he could, because any like controversial thing or like thing that could have prevented him, like in that regard, like he's already. It's the same argument as before. I do think a lot of people have like all the like kind of more like revolutionary type people who are like, oh, but he speaks differently, and all these things have kind of like quieted down.
People
But
like change.
they're
but
still
not
gonna-
too much change.
Yeah, they're still gonna vote for him though.
I don't know. I don't
And
think
as-
the turnout's
as-
going to be as
how do you-
strong.
Definitely not.
Not that like the president is like the deciding factor on like where the economy goes and like the results, but like how do you guys feel? Has he done his job? I personally feel it's been kind of like stagnant.
My big thing was when like he first was like starting to run. He was talking about like, oh, we're gonna start pulling military bases out of this and this place, and we're gonna stop being the police of the world, and we're gonna focus on, where
Isolation.
being isolationist and isolationism, and I was all about that. I was like, yes, no more war. Like, let's put an end to all this.
Yeah, let's focus on like immigration
Like,
and stuff, which that has.
let's
happened.
fix the problems at home with the what's the word I'm looking for? Our the infrastructure and the immigration problem,
economy.
and fixing the economy and bringing jobs back to the United States and doing all that stuff. And then like as soon as he like called the order to start launching missiles on Syria, I was like, we're done, bro. Like no more. That's it.
Hypocrisy.
We're done. I did like, I'm all about, some international intrigue. So when he was like going to North Korea for like the first time since like, I don't know, not Ronald Reagan, but
One of them dudes.
one of the older 80s, 70s presidents, like went with Kim Jong-il or Kim Il-sung, and it was like a big deal. So like I felt like that was a pretty
Did Cuba open up to the public during his presidency?
who? Trump?
During Trump's, yeah.
Think so. I think Cuba's still pretty isolationist. 'cause
It's like isolated, but I thought like it opened up.
it might be a little more open now that Castro's brother is involved, but I think that might just be purely based on a touristic kind of.
Yeah, a tourist thing.
I know you
but
can still get in North Korea. Like I think you can get in North Korea. Like
is there like
not
trade
easy.
agreements though or something?
I don't think so.
I just remember someone being like happy they could get Cuban cigars or something like that.
I think they still might be illegal, but I'm not. 100% sure. Like, you can get there for, like, tourists. Like, same thing with, like, North Korea. But, like, if you're
It's
trying,
a show, though.
if you're
You
trying to, like, get anything out, like, or in, like,
Just go there the same way they come to us, on a raft.
No.
I don't,
Yeah, that's gonna work out great for us. As soon as you pull up on their shore at the raft, they're gonna fucking shoot. Yeah, you're dead. You're done for. Not here. They'll be like, oh, come on, welcome, my brothers and sisters. No. You show up there on a raft, you're dead.
Remember the
Andale.
the phrase I had? Multiculturalism is its own form of white supremacy.
Yeah.
But
You are free to elaborate.
Oh.
Go for it.
Yeah? You're curious?
Sure.
Did I tickle your curiosity?
Well, I
not
don't.
really.
It's my personal belief that if you bring up something in a video, you gotta elaborate.
All right. Well, so
Maybe I shouldn't have started this.
America.
Yeah, we're at
America.
5 minutes.
It's like perfect way you could have started an essay. America.
This is America.
This is America.
This is
Well,
America.
we're always seen as the melting pot.
Sorry.
We're always seen as the melting pot, right? Got all these different
Yes.
countries sending their men, women, children over here of many different ethnicities and cultures and backgrounds. But we never see the same kind of pressure as far as being considered multicultural or multi-ethnic in other countries. We kind of see them seeing, like, Brazil. You have Brazilian culture. You have, like, I don't know, Morocco as Moroccan culture. That's their thing. But for us, we have this sort of pressure where we have to be multicultural.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems that it's white people in particular that seem to perpetuate that statement.
Not like all white people, like white
Not all
trash
white,
people
I'm just-
that don't give a shit, but like,
The mainstream people that are always in the headlines.
yeah.
They like to
We know who you're talking
Yeah. Well, far be it for a not predominantly white nation, but for a white majority group of people that are perpetuating this stereotype to say that us as Americans, we should have a multicultural system set up.
Quota.
Quota, yeah. So I kind of make it akin to, like, there's a chessboard, and your culture is a piece on that chessboard. But the chessboard itself has been created by white people.
Yeah, fair enough.
So you only get that piece, but we have the chessboard itself, and we put you where we want.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Not we as
I
in
like that analogy.
I don't agree. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you have American culture as
Yeah.
the culture.
Yeah, and like, we're saying, oh, that piece is not big enough, but it's like, or this little black space is not big enough, but it's like, no, that's not the fucking point. The point is, look around at the whole chessboard.
Yeah.
Well, that's why everyone's like, with the systematic racism, like, the game was rigged against us from the start, man. Because you've put us on this playing field and given us these, like with any chess piece, you've only given us these parameters we can work within, and we need more.
But it's your people that are agreeing with you, that are putting you there.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing, like, the same thing in Australia, because there's no really, like, Australian culture, because Australia, as well as the United States, is kind of like a melting pot nation, because it has no other than its indigenous people, which still exist, I think, in a greater quantity than the United States' indigenous people do now.
Who we melted over.
Yeah, we.
Steamrolled.
I mean, they did too, basically. But there's there's less inhabitable land for the European settlers
It's
in
cool.
Australia.
We named our
to-
helicopters after them.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
It's fine.
We named a football team after them.
And a baseball team, kind of.
That's good enough.
Yeah.
Good enough.
It's good enough for all the people who lived here before.
But, I've always been kind of jealous of these, because I've had a lot of friends who have lived overseas in European countries, and, like, the one in particular who's Danish, who is, like, can trace his family in Denmark all the way back to, like, fucking, 1600s. Like the 18th
Yeah,
and
that's
like
crazy.
19, like 18, yeah, like the 17th and 18th century.
I wish.
Yeah,
like he can
same.
just be like, you know, all my family is Dane, and like he knows, you know, other people who are like just sweet, like all the way back, and it's nice to kind of have that like homeland feeling, and like I think we lost the idea of like having a United States as like our quote unquote homeland like a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, the big thing I think for America compared to like homogenous societies like Japan is that our culture is rooted in our set of ideas rather than our race. Like we believe in the like we have Constitution, we have the Declaration of Independence,
Well,
the Bill of Rights.
you could say even like those.
These are not necessarily like bad things also. Like there's like definitely a benefit of like having like this monkey aspect of like seeing a culture and like mimicking it and like kind of taking the best parts of it.
Yeah.
Like
That's kind of what our culture did.
Yeah, and
Like,
types in types of like warfare and types of all these like different things. You just look at the best results, you take it, and you run with it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But to be Japanese, you are a Asian Japanese person. Like,
Right.
They don't want like these like 0.001% of all people that apply or something get in.
You could, yeah, I mean, you could even, if you wanted to argue it, I'm sure there are people who could. Like, I probably could argue it if I sat and pondered on it long enough. But you could say that the idea, like you said, the United States was based on it. You said our culture is more rooted in the ideas than in anything else.
Yeah. And the
You
idea
could
that
say
we can
that those
improve ourselves.
ideas are like quote unquote like white ideas, if you will, if you want to think back of people who originally conceptualized the Bill of Rights and the Constitution and all that. If one were to argue that, and I could sit here and argue that, but I'm not going to. For
They
the sake
instilled
of
the
not.
idea of that we could improve ourselves as a nation, and other people of other races and ethnicities and backgrounds flock to that idea. MLK, you know,
Right.
You know, we approved as a nation because of his belief in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like we sent a lot of people.
Shut up. He's over here making faces like. But
That's not
like,
here nor there.
Or like we sent people of different ethnicities that aren't white to all these different Olympics, and like they're bringing home gold rather than like these homogenous
Yeah, I guess so.
societies that don't like.
yeah.
Like their
Well, that's
whole
part
thing
of
was
the
being
whole-
there and being Chinese or being there and being Japanese.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
I think part of that has to do with like what you and I were talking about yesterday at B-Dubs. So Scheboii was like this whole American culture has shifted from this like religion, like now it's the religion of sports instead of the religion of God. It's the religion of sports. Like people flock to these like emblems and teams with the shiny outfits, and it's like this is now their religion. Is like
I wouldn't say it's religious as much as like commercialism, like beer and like all these like.
well, yeah, all that goes along with the you know Church of Sports.
It's all what you believe is to be considered indoctrination.
Mm-hmm.
The big selling point for religion was beautiful afterlife, God.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like immediate self-satisfaction type
Yeah.
stuff.
High time preference.
I think like the big difference, because in my mind like diversification and like having like a melting pot of ideas is like you kind of can. The benefit of that is like you get to see both sides of it and kind of make your own decision.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like if you were just born into a family and there's like a family crest that says your beliefs and like that's what you got to do, and your dad's like bring honor to your fucking family, but we're over here just kind of like I don't know who my family even is, so I have to be out here and make my own decisions. I do think there is kind of a benefit to that. Like I would like to know like my ancestors and stuff, but like
Yeah.
A big part of evolving is to introduce new ideas and decide what is the better one. Whereas just sticking with the old ones.
Maybe America didn't do that well with like
Let the
keep your
past
heritage while also embrace dynamic changes. We kind of embrace dynamic while kind of cutting off our ties.
I was
to
gonna say because
where we came
when
from.
people say our heritage as Anglo-Europeans is so terrible, what with colonization and colonialism and wiping out swaths of other races because we can.
I think that was just more propaganda that was more recent than I think it happened more in the 20th century that
Right.
propaganda started.
That's why
popping
people are like, we should forget about who we are, and like Soul was saying he'd like to know all that stuff. I do I know what my family crest is. I know like what the name means and all that kind of stuff. Like that's kind of what the conceptualization for the tattoo that I wanted was all about, was based on that. And while my family doesn't do the trade anymore, that the name that was given to us is
He's tiptoeing around it because he don't want to say his name.
right. What
You can tell us after the cast.
Right. We don't do that anymore as our job, and we've all, as you said, evolved dynamically just with the times. It's still kind of important. Like, I'm very big on tradition, and, I'm saying not all traditions are good traditions, but there are things that I think that kind of tie you to who you are with your heritage and as a person that are kind of ritualistic, that keep you rooted in this idea, instead of feeling like I'm so lost in the world. And like, I feel like that was my problem when I was in my early 20s, of why I was like so depressed, is because I just never felt like I belonged anywhere. And why I fell into the trap that I did was because I was just looking for kind of a community and a place to belong. And if I had more of a family structure, or even another group of people who were kind of like me, which I guess I did find, that had similar ideas, then it would, I'd feel like I belong. Like, you kind of lose that sense of belonging, I guess.
Mm-hmm. No, it's...
Everyone...
You can go first.
Sorry. I feel like everyone has that because we're social creatures, so we have that some sense of, like, wanting to belong to, not to use lack of a better term, but like a collective or a group.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like in America, we've said you can belong to a collective, but you individually have to bring something to the table. You can't just be that collective and just assume that you have a place at the table.
Right.
And that there's going to be a meal there. You
No,
have to bring your own
absolutely.
food, like potluck in sort of sense.
Yeah.
But there's still going to be that community. But I think towards the end of the 20th century, we kind of propagandized, like let's try to act like our community isn't there anymore.
The community like you were saying, has a standard, and if the community doesn't hold a standard, then like you're just bringing in riffraff off the street that just are like you said, just hangers on that are just like there for the name.
It also
Certain
falls
people
into
wanted
like
that to
capitalism.
happen.
Like, what if you're stuck in a community with ideals you don't believe in, but you're like, I'm a part of this fucking society and I have to be here.
Right. Well, then you get into
and
that.
as the individual, you just leave at that point.
Yeah.
But you want to still belong to some sort of community.
Yeah. Well, then,
so you
exactly.
seek your own.
But then online communities built, and you can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Ethnos.
online communities...
We're right here for you, boys.
Exactly. But online communities are the most individual communities there are because nobody's actually there.
Yeah.
Let me just walk away from this
Well,
computer.
that's when you get into the idea
for 3
of like
weeks.
the libertarian idea of like the freedom of association. Like, if I want to go off and start my own white utopia in Minnesota, I can do that. But then like everyone's like, oh my god, what are you, racist? But like,
I mean, if you want to do that, you shouldn't technically care if they you've already set your goal to do that.
yeah,
Like in this scenario, I'm not saying like, oh, that's
Right,
what
right,
you're
right.
gonna do, but
that's why I'm definitely gonna do this.
that's what I'm gonna do now.
I had a point I was going to make, kind of going back to that, like, heritage thing. Like, I do completely believe in the idea that I was saying earlier about, evolving, diversification, better ideas, yada, yada. But, like, obviously it is important to know your heritage for the reason that, like, the way evolution works is your ancestors, their memories, subconsciously carried on to you, and you are made up of them, not just through DNA, but, like, mentally, like, the sum of their parts are in you. So to not understand the sum of your parts does leave you kind of like an empty husk that doesn't, like, know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And
So-
just too, like I've looked at some like old newspaper clippings of like family members that have been like in local newspapers for one reason or another. Nothing bad, but just interesting to see like kind of things that they might have been like their hobbies or whatever that have kind of like translated that. You can kind of follow a progression of like how that hobby is kind of transgressed generations, and like you're into that hobby, and you're like, oh, that's kind of cool to know that like my great grandfather also did this.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know if I should go into detail or not, but not that I don't know. If it would
I mean,
matter, but
as far as like carrying on my name, like my dad, he had like 2 brothers. One of them like recently passed away, and the other one is like only had 1 son, and the son is not like looking too well right now.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as carrying on the name, like I don't know anything about my history. All I know is that I'm basically the one that's gonna be like
yeah, you've got to be the goer on.
sending on. Yeah, because I have 2 sisters. They already took their other people's names.
You say of all the
Like-
people with my last name, like I am now like the last male heir. It seems.
And I'm the male heir to a name that I have nothing to know about.
That's a
Kind of
shame.
sucks, because I don't even know what my
buy you those
father's brothers
23
have done.
Buy my boys.
I have not known what my
23
grandparents or
me.
my great grandparents
I
did.
think I'm in a
Damn
worse
it, kids.
position where it's like my dad got his name from a random fucking like stepdad or something, and it's just gonna get worse from that point. So I feel bad for my great grandkids, what kind of fucking shit they're gonna be into, especially with how
Family
many.
tree is gonna go.
Yeah, with how many like marriages. Like it was easy back when you married one person and you died when you were 30, but now it's like, oh, I got married like 6 times. You know, I had kids with 3 of them, and it was.
Blech.
No, I feel like my family tree is like a collective group of just one line. Like the web
Yeah,
out,
all
and then
kinda
it webs back
goes.
into my
Yeah, I
name.
feel like that's kind of how mine is too.
I feel like it was like that for mine, minus these 2 or 3 motherfuckers. They were just like, we don't know.
Let's just cut.
They're just dead.
We're trimming some hedges, boys.
But I'm like in that outer fucking shell where I'm like, ah,
You're
fuck.
part of that hedge that's getting chopped off right
No!
now.
Wait, no.
Now you have to
No,
sprout
no,
your
no,
own
no.
tree.
I'm the kid at the funeral where
grow
they're
it.
like, I guess you belong here. Like, do you have to though?
No.
Do we know a soul?
I'm like, yeah.
There's this kid, he's looking for his name on like the check-in list, and he's like, they flip into the like
Family
last name
reunion.
on the last page.
They're like, grandson, I guess. I mean,
3rd, 4th cousin.
I'll believe that when I see it.
Yeah.
why do you look like him? No.
No, you don't. No. Sorry.
No,
Bye.
I choose not to
Aunt
see
Gail, get over here. You know him?
Isn't that
Dolores, is that him?
no? Is your name? No, you don't know.
Isn't that John's boy?
We don't like John. They don't like John.
We didn't
Sorry,
like
you can't come
John.
in. John left when he was 15 and never came back. You're not allowed here.
Yeah. Well, we're getting to the 2:30 mark. Should we bookmark
Yeah,
it
probably
here and
will.
pick it up? Any closing
tell us,
remarks?
This was
Soul?
our episodes get better and better.
I think they are.
Yeah, I can agree. I think they're getting.
Our topics are getting weirder, but I love the fact that they are.
I think it.
We're still
provokes
tiptoeing
more
around politics, but it's
conversation.
fine.
I feel like I'm able
I think
to
we
explore
like-
y'all's minds too, like in a way. Like that Star Wars shit, I was like kind of able to see Star Wars through other people's eyes, and that was cool. And I was able to see Pokemon through y'all's eyes. So
I think we just need to figure out a way of like how to interweb each one's
Integrate.
like different like interests into more like our own topics of what we need to talk about. Like I want to talk about politics and philosophy, and that's what we did, but we didn't really talk about specific politics in the sense of like
We'll talk
the
about.
election.
if we do that,
My
we
opinion.
gotta have like the host
still
pick the
wasn't, like-
topics.
Yeah,
We'll have to do it. We'll have to do
Like
the
you like talking about-
philosophy and politics of
like
Pokemon.
gaming and movies,
Boom.
but like we talk about like more like
What would you say?
Deeper.
Ash Ketchum's political affiliation.
Yes, there you go. If Ash Ketchum had a family heritage, how would he feel about it?
Oh, he's definitely communist. Like, let's get this out of the way.
Brock comes from a very traditionalist Christian family.
No, I thought he was
supposed to
just
break out
weaving
of that
trash.
mold.
Yeah.
Like there was like some kind of Japanese fucking clown, and he had a bunch of kids, and he's one of them. One of them banged Professor Oak.
Do Mormons exist in Japan?
Oh, God.
That'll be episode 6.
Yeah.
Mormonism in
Previously on-
Japan? I think not.
All right,
Or
we're derailing
Yeah,
again.
we're getting
I was
back
just trying to make a
into
good final
esoteric.
point, and then everyone else jumped
Scheboii,
in.
any final thoughts?
Yeah. Again, going better and better. Just casually consent, liking that smash
that
button.
like button. Liking that smash
Liking
button.
that smash button. And smashing
Oh.
that like button.
Banjo-Kazooie introduced to Smash this week. Pick it up.
Yeah, how did we not talk about that?
We
Anyway.
said we were going to talk about video games for Nucci's sake.
Oh, that's shitty. I had
Wow,
a bunch of
way
stuff
to
to say about
pander.
video games.
You guys talked about me
I know.
pandering. Oh well.
Anyway,
Listen,
Have
she's
your
our
night.
one listener and she knows what's going on, so
close her up.
God bless her. All right.
God bless
Thank you
America.
for joining us again on another episode of Kitchen Bitches. I have been your host this evening, Schwooggy, and we will see you again, not next week because I'm not going to be here, but the following week, where your host Scheboii will pick things up for us. Signing off for tonight. Have a good night, everyone. Bye.